I don't know why I did it, but I did it. And now it's done. And hopefully nobody saw me. I'd really prefer to not be executed for releasing a werewolf onto the city. But you know what? To each their own. Hopefully Avacyn or any other angel wasn't watching. And I hope I made the right choice. Because now there's two werewolves. One seems fine, but the other looks a little unhinged. I'm not too sure about it.
That took a lot. A lot. Not only for me, but the people I've been currently working with. I went into the herbalist's shop after Lorelei and I had managed to track down the apprentice of the butcher. I could have probably made it easier for myself by showing that form of me as well. That other side, that uncanny being that's always pulling at my very soul. Yet, maybe in a way I was hoping to, I don't know, I want to say I was just trying to reason with him in my human form, but maybe in some way I was hoping I would know what it felt like to be attacked, be on the other end of it, and feel pain that it doesn't matter now. I managed to reveal myself, and that seemed to help us.
Maybe they're people, maybe they're monsters, I don't know. But a bunch of strangers seem to think they're good enough to keep on living, so I'm not gonna say no. I guess I'm supposed to help people, but that's a whole new thing, and they kind of went over Cathar school that you're supposed to kill werewolves and vampires, but you know, werewolves are very simple, easy. They're definitely evil. You definitely kill them. But like when they turn back into a human and they have a personality and they talk to you like a normal person, it becomes a little harder, and God, you feel bad for them. I don't think they asked to be werewolves, so it's tough.
We got them out. I didn't know if we could actually manage it. I have no idea how we managed to get a Cathar agree to help us, but we did. I'm grateful everyone banded together for the most part. Even if it was not the best thing to do, the fact that we all did it together makes it worthwhile for something.
Me and that Cathar and Vashani, we were stuck outside for the night almost, but we managed to make it back in. I made it back to the tavern a little bit quicker. Now there's talk of vampires. This isn't good. And now I have another problem. That Dr. Ingle fella, he doesn't exactly know everything, but he knows something is odd and off about me. I need to figure out how to deal with that problem. And only one other person knows some of my true secrets. And I might need a little help to get out of the city.
Ludo and Natalia deserve peace. I can't hugely understand their situation, but I can empathize. I know how it feels. I hope they're going to be okay. I asked Amrita if she still wanted to travel together, and I haven't got an answer, but she didn't say no.
Lorelei.
Yes?
You are about 12 years old. You're seated in the tall grass, your knees tucked up under your chin, trying to keep yourself as low as possible. You can still hear the shambling movements around you, and you just hope that they don't stumble upon you. And they get closer, the grass wrestling. Wind is completely still. You know that there's other things moving your direction. People you once knew and still would, but now they move as dead. Your heart races to the point you can't control it. Your hands shake. And you know if you don't move now, they will get you. And when they get you, he will get you. You bolt. As soon as you get up, you see the field of wheat that had surrounded Willow Grange. Just these bodies that have been torn open, still bleeding, dead, but risen, searching for anyone else who might have escaped. You run as fast as you can. There's no woods nearby. There's nothing. It's just open plains. You run down the hilltop as you're followed, and you find another place deep enough that you can hunker down again and just listen. And listen as they get closer. They're always getting closer. You're in the woods. Further this time. 15 years old. And you're still huddled against a tree, your knees up against your chin, clutching your legs as tightly as you can. And you know they're coming. You know eventually the dead will find you. You know eventually they will bring you to him. Somehow you know you'll never be free of what happened. You hear the footsteps, and they're faster. These undead are not recently risen shambles. You know if you're not quick and you're not clever, they'll be on you in moments. So you bolt. And as you look behind you, your hood almost falling off, the blue cloak, you see the face of your mother, undead and risen, following you, always haunting you. Ducking behind a tree, you just try to control your breathing as they're always getting closer. Everyone you once knew, dead and coming for you. And someday you will be too. As you try to dart to the next tree, you're caught across the throat, and you can feel as the warmth of the blood begins to pour down the front of your dress, and you look and you see a werewolf's face. And that's when you wake up.
Just kind of look around, take stock where I am.
Still in the Frowning's Wrath. You have a cold sweat on your brow and on the back of your hands.
I know there's not really much sunlight, but can I get an idea of what time it is? Like if it's still
dark.
like
It would be very, very late at night, most likely. Probably the same night. You don't feel as though you've slept more than enough, more than a day, certainly. It's probably the same night that you had gotten the other werewolves out of Corsiva. Feels like you had just gotten to sleep. and now you're awake again, as is so often the case.
Just quickly roll up the sleeves, check that everything's still there, roll the sleeves back down.
You are still intact. The braided bracelet of this hair-like material, you can see more and more of it is turning gray. Some of it is turning white. The parts where it is finely stitched into your flesh, where it's turning white, it's almost falling out. The scars healed over.
She'll just leave her room for a bit and kind of just pace around quietly until feels a little more tired and able to go back to sleep.
The Frowning's Wrath, the saloon is dark. You hear the floorboards creak under your feet and you try to avoid those spots. Each time you pass as you pace and go downstairs and just walk through the empty tables and the chairs, still with that sense of something is out there and something is approaching. It's a feeling you've almost never been able to shake.
She'll just look out the window for a little while, just making sure nothing is approaching.
Even with your passive perception, you don't get the idea anything physically is out there, at least not at the moment. The streets are as quiet as the tavern itself. And you can start to see that mild illumination on the eastern cloud line.
Shit. Go back to bed.
Everyone is able to achieve a short rest if needed from the events of the previous night.
Definitely. All right.
Ooh, I actually have a cold sweat.
We took out the extra 1 HP that Stenzian's got from that old stuff, right?
No, that's part of, well, not, you don't get that on short rest. That's just when you level up.
Oh,
and it's +2. You get +2 every time you level up. Yeah, it's effectively the tough feat. Acrio.
Hi.
You've only been at the Elgid grounds a couple weeks at this point, and during that time it's all been primarily weapons training, simple weapons to start out with, basic swordsmanship, a bit of archery, but you've never really taken to that. Your aim's never been as precise as others. You excel a bit more in the melee.
I want to see my enemy when I beat them to a pulp. Sorry.
Hunting was never your speciality. And today is the first day of your magic training. So far, you've somewhat been able to glean a bit of magic from this forge, and the time you've spent there, it's almost imbued you with a sense of how divine magic works. At this stage, you would have literally only your domain spells at first level. That's all of the magic you know. As you and the other Cathars in training are arranged in this courtyard, there are angels flying overhead. You see some of them just appear and disappear out of existence. You know, some of them have the ability to simply move across Innistrad at will without having to physically fly the entire distance. It's almost like a protective umbrella over this place. There is a sense that literally nothing can get to you here. Nothing evil. This is the safest haven you've ever been at. As you're assembled, A woman comes out from one of the buildings. You can tell she's got an air of authority. One of the instructors, she's a middle-aged, pale skin, kind of reddish hair, tapers down to like almost a white point. She's got it pulled back in a tight braid, wearing simple, not highly ornate Cathar armor, probably a gambeson, pale in color, symbols of Avacyn. And she carries at her side a spear, which is adorned in angelic runes, just twisting entirely around the shaft of it, glowing emblems on the head of this spear. It's almost as though the weapon itself is not designed for that kind of usage. It's more it's like what you would think of as like a casting focus.
Okay. So it's like a staff, but it has the spearhead on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's a shorter spear. It's probably, and you can't see my hands, but about like this wide.
Like a Yikwa?
Yeah, sure. It's not. Yeah, it's not a full length. And as she kind of surveys all of you, she walks down the line, stopping at you. So you're the boy from Stenzia. Is that it?
Yes, ma'am.
What was your name?
Acrio Ravito.
You may call me Miss Cord. Now, show me what you can do with that hammer.
Here, now.
A demonstration.
How much do I know how to use this hammer?
You can tell she's more implying what spells can you produce with it. Because the rumor has been that, you've gotten this magic effectively from the angelic hammer in the forge itself.
Is there a target dummy?
Sure.
Okay. Just gonna awkwardly walk up. Still don't know how to use the hammer. Acrio doesn't know how to use the hammer till today either. Just kind of lug it up off the ground, hold it both hands, look back at the teacher awkwardly, look at the target, and then just go for like a standard overhead swing, and I'll Searing Smite it. Just very awkward, like he's...
yeah. As you do that, there's this trail of fire that comes from behind it, more than typically produced, and just like a burst, almost an explosion on impact, as this target dummy is just incinerated. Everyone else watching is taken aback. That's more than any of these other trainees have seen, beyond what angels themselves have kind of demonstrated. The instructor seems not impressed at all. That was clunky at best.
He kind of awkwardly lugs the hammer back, stumbles back a couple steps, walks back over. That's all I got. I'm sorry.
Do you have any idea what that thing is capable of?
No, ma'am, I don't.
Well, let's find out today. Here, put it down.
He goes to drop it, but he hasn't gotten used to the fact that when you drop it head up, it immediately flips and goes handle side down and just floats there.
Yeah, it sets down on the pommel and just almost hovers in space. If you're going to be at the forge, this forge we've heard so much about, you're going to need to know what items of power can do. And she reaches into her bag, switching the spear into her other hand, kind of looking at it briefly, and she pulls out a small pearl. It's bright and has that kind of rainbow luminescence to it. Almost a vague glow. Let me show you this. She goes into the ritual process of casting Identify. Now follow after me. She will hand out the pearl to you.
Takes the pearl. I know Identify. Ritual cast Identify.
She will walk you through the steps as you're doing that, because while you've kind of got a sense that you should know your somatic components and everything, they're not refined. You've never actually done it before. Do you know why a pearl is used for this spell? Why it's necessary, beyond merely the angelic symbols?
I can't say I do, ma'am.
Being from Stenzia, I suppose it's no surprise. When a clam is infected with something inside it, it has a reaction, has a means of defending itself. It coats that bit of sand, that bit of external component, and it's covered, and it grows inside. And we find these pearls. That is like an enchantment. An item might seem mundane, but it is more than its component. There's more inside. The angels never found this out. This is an arcane sort of spell. The arcane often requires components that are more than simply drawing on what the angels can do. And as you finish the spell, suddenly the innate properties of this angelic hammer are known to you. It infects your mind, and you know exactly everything. Like, you'd played around with it, you had seen some of the fire that it could produce and the magic that you could do from it, but you had never used it to mend none of the other spells that come from it. And suddenly the knowledge of everything it can do is just part of your being.
Inhales. So I just use it?
Use what now?
There's so much. I just pick it up and I do what it does.
You can. As with the pearl, it must be part of you. It must be within. It can't be separate.
So it just becomes a part of me?
You must let it become a part of you. That's what magic is. It's not a external force you can just draw upon. It is external, yes, but if you're going to, you have to let it become part of you.
Looks at the hammer. Picks it up. Holds it. Doesn't know, how do I let it become a part of me? I haven't done this.
That's what we're going to be training you on for the next 4 years of your life. So get ready.
I thought this was like a part of the... Okay. It's not... Alright, ma'am. Sorry. Sets the hammer back down. I thought this was like a revolution moment. I'm sorry.
I've got other students too, you know.
Looks back at all the students that are like impatiently waiting. Sorry.
And the next 4, almost 5 years of your life are spent in a grueling training that gets you to the point where you can return to the forge. And currently, you roll over in bed, glancing at the hammer, and standing in the corner near your armor that's laid out, still wondering if it's really a part of you, if you've really let it guide you, if you really should, or if your conscience should be the driving force, and it should just back it up. Thinking about everything that you did yesterday as the morning light begins to filter into your window.
Pick it up and stare at it for a while before setting it back in its place and getting ready for my day.
Everyone is able to get up, congregate, go through their morning routines, such as they are. The tavern is back open for breakfast. Anne and Amel and some of their help moving around and kind of bit of noise in the lower area as you all wake up to that, preparing the smells of frying meat in the morning.
Rita will wake up a little bit earlier than anyone else, as she is on a time limit in her mind. She will go down the steps of the Frowning's Wrath up to the bar and ask whichever owner is there, morning. I was wondering, do you have perhaps a chance, a quill and some paper? I have something I need to write and head out.
Anne would probably be on hand, kind of moving in and out of the kitchen. Well, sure, we can find something for you. Just give me 1 minute.
All right, thank you.
And Lorelei, did you go back to bed, or did you just kind of like stay downstairs after being
Lorelei
woken
went
up?
back to bed when she kind of saw like the light was filtering through. She was like, shit. Sure. Went right back to bed and just pretended she was there the whole time.
Oh yeah, totally. So yeah, then Amrita, you're basically alone, but you do see people start to filter in for their morning coffee before heading out to the range, their cattle herding duties and field work, which is starting to get in swing. You start to hear whispers of rumors that the werewolves are still here, that everyone still needs to be on the lookout because they couldn't have gotten far.
Does anyone sound as if they are pissed off about what happened?
Yeah. There is certainly a mood of, damn it, we'll get them next time.
Mission failed.
Yeah, she will disregard the comments that are being said in the background, just focused on her business at hand, checking the clock.
Anne brings you about a couple sheets of paper, small inkwell and quill. Can I get you anything for breakfast? Just coffee?
Yeah, I'm in a bit of a hurry, as I said. A coffee would be great. What do I owe you for the paper and quill?
Oh, just nothing for that.
Thank you very much.
Is she gonna write at the bar or like take it to the side where no one can see?
Yeah, she will probably start out at the bar, but decide maybe to go to one of the, I assume there's some sort of booth and stuff like that. And she sits down and dips the quill in there and begins to write.
After a while, I'm sure Acrio makes his way downstairs. Suriel, is she getting up early or trying to sleep in? Not that she, was super tired after yesterday's events.
Yeah, she probably just wakes up the moment she does. Might be mid-morning, a little bit later, but not too late. She goes down, just in a slightly better mood than yesterday. Definitely less worried, definitely less cramped.
Yeah. Acryl will be down. Full armor, full hammer, full health.
Full hammer.
Full metal.
Full hammer. Full metal, yes. Not overly excited, not overly sad, not overly happy, not overly depressed. Just get some
neutral.
breakfast.
On borderline neutral.
Yes.
Strangely, none of you see Killian out and about, except for that he just joined the chat. So Never mind.
Killian runs downstairs, breaks through the door.
Slides down the fucking banister.
Yeah, he hears
What's up, motherfuckers?
Yeah, he briefly breaks through the fourth wall. Like, no, I'm here, and then jumps in.
Dude, I literally just said,
Dave's there.
strangely, none of you see Killian this morning, and there was just like, oh, and then
man.
you see he appears.
Yes.
Summoned him.
You
Suddenly.
don't see Killian for about 5 seconds, and then you see him.
So this is early morning the next day after the whole rescuing of werewolves event. Everyone is able to get in a short rest if needed. And yeah, early the next morning, does Killian try to sleep in, or is he up with everyone else? Like early morning.
So that day, he would sleep in.
So yes, strangely, you don't see Killian. But you do, Acrio, you would see Amrit off to the side writing letter of some kind. She's just got a cup of coffee next to her that she kind of sips absent-mindedly.
Are there like 18 other cups of coffee that she's gone through before then? that's the 19th one.
Highly doubtful, but
Oh no, she's tall. She might need a lot of coffee.
Yeah. A lot of body mass.
yeah, I would think by this point, after she looks over the paper, after I would see that she's rolling it up and puts the quill to the side with the ink.
Yeah, it's personal business. Not gonna snoop on somebody's letter. Just get some breakfast. Try to ignore what just happened yesterday. Pretend it didn't happen. I'm a Cathar. Here for some investigations. How you doing, Asuriel?
I'm okay. Okay. Yes.
Where's everybody else though?
Not sure.
Checks his watch, realizes watches don't exist, looks at the wall clock.
Watches totally exist, but yeah, you don't
Shut
have
up.
one. But
Only Nephalians have watches.
sure, pocket watches. I'm not like wrist watches. Yeah, no, those don't exist. But
Yeah, I know,
pocket
that's what I
watches.
mean. Yeah, sure. Fucking pocket watches exist, but nobody
All right, nerds.
like, what's the time?
Asuriel just sees Acrio having an argument with the air.
Yeah. Just like a fucking ghost floating in the air. No, fucking wrist watches, you stupid piece of shit.
but no,
She's gonna
the
was like,
morning, the clock on the wall would read about 8:30 almost.
Christ. And I thought 6 o'clock was late. Well, I guess they deserve a bit of a sleep in. Tower over
Yeah.
there is already awake. Sure, she's been awake for a while, but I mean, wait for the rest to get up.
yeah, you've had a long night.
Yeah, just a little bit. Really?
So,
Really had a long time exploring.
yeah, I'm sure the town's super interesting.
Yeah,
Did you find the bakery?
great views. Yeah, bakery, super easy to find. Lovely people. They were so happy to follow me around, help me out when I needed it.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah. Bit of the perimeter hurt a little bit. Falling from 20 feet for no apparent reason kind of hurts.
Do you need me to heal you a bit?
No. Sleeped it off. Slept off the broken bones. Doing just fine.
Wait, I don't think that's how it works.
Anyway, hey, Mel, can we get a bit of breakfast? I think everybody else is gonna wake up, so like maybe breakfast for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4. How many people do we have? I can't count. They didn't teach me how to count.
Oh,
Hey,
Five.
Amrita, do you want some food?
Amrita looks up and over and sees the two of them are awake. No, I have a beverage. I have business I need to attend to this morning. I'm in a bit of a hurry.
That's not food, but okay, sure.
Later.
Did someone say food?
Hey, Killian.
Uh,
Yeah, that makes
Morning.
3 plus 1, 4. So we have 4 meals we need.
That's
listen,
my-
For breakfast, I can get them off the griddle for you.
Appreciate it. Huh.
What are we doing now?
Well, we can't exactly talk about it here, but we're gonna go pay a very good businessman a visit. Right, Killian?
For sure.
Yeah,
I sort of
businessman.
racking my brain about that, and I think I might have a story, but it's gonna be tight.
Is it a plan that includes not having a Cathar 10 feet away? Staring
No,
them down?
You're gonna need. We're all gonna need to be there because otherwise, might end up with, some puncture marks in a place I'm very fond of.
I know, you have a very nice ass. I wouldn't want it to get punctured by a...
Thank you very much, Akrio. At last, somebody notices.
Yeah. You put a lot of effort. I can tell you do a lot of squats, like an unnatural amount of squats.
Oh, sure.
I feel like
I mean, it's
that-
sort of
that's-
my natural position, just sort
Yeah.
of down low.
Yeah, I feel like it's good for running, for kind of hiding. Good all-around exercise.
I mean, well, sometimes my dummy thick ass.
Sometimes it attracts the bees, but
The collab of my cheeks alerted the bees.
Oh
Alright, so we'll wait for everybody to wake up.
While
See
they've all
about-
been
Don't let me
talking,
interrupt your homoerotic morning.
Oh, hey,
no.
morning,
What does
Lorelai.
that mean?
Beautiful bags under your eyes. They really bring out the bagginess.
Thanks.
Yeah, while they've all kind of been talking, I would imagine after Amrita said she had business, she was in a hurry and went outside, but doesn't seem to have left yet as she's just outdoors and shit. The realization that she asked Lorelai to accompany her to this business, but she just stays outside.
So when breakfast. Thank you, Amel. Appreciate it.
she'll bring out some eggs, fried, kind of sunny side up, and it's not exactly bacon. It's like a thick strip of what they call fatback.
Ooh.
It's like bacon, but super fatty and thick.
So basically just
thick?
consumer grade
Like
Bacon.
my type.
like they sell us nowadays. So
Lorelai will go and just poke her head outside the door, like, "You still want me to come with you, Amrita?"
It's a little bit past dawn now. I need to go take care of it. You can stay here if you need to eat real quick, but
Are you sure?
Ah.
I can skip breakfast.
up to you.
Akrio can toss you a baked potato.
I throw a baked potato at Lorelai.
It's right in the back of the
I'm like
head.
not fully awake, so I just end up with it hitting my head. Oh no.
Luckily, it's wrapped in foil, so it's just like, oh, it's still
Yeah.
edible, but it's on
It lands in the hood.
Yeah.
But seriously, if we're both going to go now, I need to go now.
Yeah, no, yeah, of course. I'll just 1 second. I'm going with Amrita. Don't do anything stupid while I'm gone. I'll be back
Wait,
quickly.
you're gonna miss breakfast. Just here, take sausage.
You've already thrown a baked potato at me. It's in my hood. I'll live.
Oh, okay. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day.
Then you have mine.
Oh, sick.
Cereal might take it instead.
Just takes
Everyone
the
just
eggs,
takes
gives
bits
it
of
to a
stuff off
cereal.
of Lorelai's plate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I will go with Amrita.
After they are both outside, Amrita picks up the pace to Dr. Ingle's house, and Lorelai notices that she slips the rolled up paper underneath her cloak to hold it there.
Lorelai just eats the hood potato on the way.
Unwrapping this steaming baked potato from foil.
Yeah.
It's I mean, it's
Like
potato.
one eye is closed. She's not with it.
Yeah.
And Stinsians are not known for seasoning their food, so it's potato.
Oh no.
No.
Hey,
This is- yeah. Oh man.
We're in Britain.
That's just your mom. who
Everything's
seasons
dark.
stuff.
They hate people, and there's no seasoning on the food. It's just like home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as we're walking, like before we get closer to the doctor's house and everything, Amrita will just briefly just say, well, seeing as how this business is going to go this morning, I don't mind you coming into this. As I said, you're the only one that knows about other things, and yeah, all he really knows is that something weird is going on with me as a person, but not much more than that. So I've managed, but I have a little bit of plan in mind, and unfortunately, as much as the opposite of what I wanted to happen, for some mere coincidence, we all appear to be going in the same direction. You might be right about us having to travel together to Silburn, considering you said that. The Cathar and the girl with no memory are going that direction as well, correct?
Yeah, that's right. Are you saying what I think you're saying, Amrita?
Don't get thrilled about that, please.
I just, I'm happy about it.
By this point, when we're half a mile away, or a block, I guess, from the doctor's office, Amrita walks a little ahead, but stops briefly and inhales. I just hate to see the negative side of this, but just don't get your hopes up entirely. As much as I hate to say it, really the only connection you and I ever had was him, and that was about it. I just don't want you to still be thinking or holding on to something that's no longer there. Do you understand?
I would have to disagree. I think we have more than that, but sure, that's what you think. I won't say you're wrong.
It's a harsh reality. And Amrita goes up to the door of the doctor's place and begins to knock.
Lorelai and Amrita, when you approached the house, you saw across the door and part of the house, it looks like somebody had taken a brush or something and just painted in whitewash or something like that. It said, "Stranger, go home."
We'll just mutually agree not to bring that up right now.
Not right now, yeah.
So silently,
right.
It would be getting close to 9 a.m. when the doctor hears his front door.
He would already be well up, probably going over some more files. He's up quite early as he reckons that it's Amrita, so he will move up to the door and just open it, kind of gesturing for her to come in.
And you've seen Lorelai, met her a couple times, but you've never kind of discussed Amrita's medical situation with her presence, so it's whatever you think of that.
She's standing back correct? Or is she like right next to Amrita?
She's right next to Amrita.
Okay, then you just kind of nods, then just looks at Amrita.
She's with me.
Do you... Right. Do you want to come in, or...
Yes. I assume that... Well, let's just get down to the business, shall we?
Right. As he opens the door a little bit more, letting the both of them step in. Kind of, you see a very neat kind of house. No dirt, no dust, everything seems to have its exact place. You can see a bag with what seems to be doctor supplies in the back, different tinctures, potions. He eventually kind of sits down, a cup of steaming tea in front of him. Would you like some as well?
You would also see, just real quick, that the house is fairly barren in a lot of places. Like he's got some books on a shelf, but then like the other side of the room is just nothing. There's this, the sitting room couch and the coffee table that are there, but not really any extravagant furnishings. There's no pictures on the walls. You're not sure if it's like a minimalist approach or if it's just like he didn't really unpack things and move in. It's like he's living here, but he's not really living here.
Yeah, no, Amrita sits down and just looks at Dr. Engel. No, I had coffee this morning, but thanks for the gesture.
Nods, looking at Lorelai.
None for me, thanks.
So, did you come to a decision in regards to my offer?
You could say that. And Amrita pulls out the paper underneath her cloak. But first off, I want to inquire and ask what it is supposedly you think I would need to be diagnosed for. Stuff about my past again? Is that it?
There is certainly the issue of the repressed memories. That could have several reasons. Repressed memories can be a result of trauma, something that happened in the recent or distant past that made you forget certain aspects of your former life in order to shield your mind. It's a defensive mechanism. But in order to determine what really is the cause of this, I would need to continue treatment, which is what I, as you already know, suggested, seeing as in my professional opinion, no offense, but you do require extended therapy to deal with this properly.
And if that's the case, or so you say from your point of view, Doctor, and want to accompany me, then I have a contract here written up, not only as a doctor and patient thing, but perhaps a partnership. And she rolls it out and lays it down on the table and slides it over to the doctor. We travel together and say, I help protect you in a way while also letting you do this diagnosis of me. But I have a few conditions, if that's the case, of my own, is that you would not be permitted to do any sort of injections. And if you were to perhaps proceed with whatever it is you do with your hypnosis to allow me to enter past memories, that one of the people of whom I trust must be there to witness it at all times, to make sure when in that unconscious state, you don't go back on your word, and we have a witness to our agreement.
I do not know what would warrant such suspicion on your part, but if that is your wish, then we can certainly arrange that. On the matter of determining what is, kind of thinks for a moment, almost as if how to think about how to delicately word something, because he seems like the type of person that would rather just say something the way he thinks. Your current condition with, you know, the eye and the other things. In that regard, I would like, seeing as we are stating conditions, to maybe make a few changes. Well, not a few, but I would like to look into that eye of yours. This quite a curious thing. Which means research, effectively.
Very well. That can be included in this agreement.
He and takes a quill, unfolds the contract, or rather holds it in place that I can write, kind of adds that experimental research of the patient is explicitly permitted. And he puts in parentheses, no injections will be inflicted upon the patients. And he kind of just puts a little dot there before eventually just signing it, moving it over to Amrita, extending the quill.
Does Amrita add or incisions?
Yeah, probably. She takes the quill, looks it over again. It's like, quickly adds that as well in there.
Has Amrita mentioned, because she was pretty cagey about it when he first brought it up, has she mentioned that the third eye is not like part of her natural being, or is she trying to keep that kind of still hidden, that it's a foreign object?
I have to say that I was not born with this, just so you are aware. I will at least tell you that. It's quite complex.
The mutation of sorts, did you get exposed to any sort of strange material that manifested this third eye?
During the time that Yond was still alive, yes. I'm not surprised given some of the rumors I'm sure you heard about the Burgomaster and what he had in his estate.
What were you exposed to, if I might ask? I've not encountered any substance that could warp the body in such a precise manner. Warping the body, yes, but it is normally more an involuntary mutation that occurs, and the outcome is usually quite hideous. It is quite grotesque.
I couldn't really recall. There was a lot of stuff. My mind was probably gone for a time. My colleague here could probably recall some things better than what I did, but even then, it's all figured well and done. But I don't. It's been quite a long time. We can work on all that. Specifics later, I suppose.
Question: does Amrita remember the story and she's just doesn't want to say, or
I don't remember.
or did I mean that's up to you? Does she really not quite remember exactly?
Yeah, you know
That would
what?
theoretically be possible.
Yeah. I'm just gonna go with she just doesn't really remember it that well since she was kind of. It makes sense in the story.
Can I have Amrita, or not Amrita? Can I have Lorelai make an insight check real quick?
Yeehaw. I will do that muchly. I will do that muchly.
Yeah, so as Amrita's
25.
speaking, you do get the sense that she doesn't really remember how that eye came to be where it is, which is odd for you because it was a very vivid experience.
The
Lorelai
doctor
just
would
kind of
probably
eyes Amrita carefully, but says nothing.
As he kind of notices that, the doctor will just kind of just look at Lorelai for a moment to see if she wants to share. But he kind of makes
She looks back at the doctor like, is there something on my face? What's wrong?
Your reaction to your friend's reply was a bit peculiar. And she did say that you might remember what happened. Can you recall how exactly this mutation came to be?
She looks at Amrita, kind of looking for like a go ahead.
Amrita go ahead and nods.
Lorelai remembers. Robin doesn't.
Sure. So if you would go into the story, effectively it was you could relay the as Amrita had mentioned, the Burgomaster Jan had commissioned a few people, the two of you, including Lars Gray, Repellum, the vampire William.
Which I don't say vampire.
No. You don't have to mention who they were. Just a few.
Yeah,
people.
just a few associates.
Yeah, to hunt down this creature in the woods that had been attacking woodsmen and hunters, and in a fashion that was very distinctly different from werewolves. And there was no suspicion of that at the time. Generally, Stinzia doesn't have that problem, and might not anymore. You may have rid them of it. Again, you don't have to mention that. But entering the woods, you were able to hunt down and kill this creature that the locals were referring to as a blood feaster. It was this weird, almost carnivorous-like goat sort of creature that was massive, and it had glowing eyes, one of which was in the center of its forehead. And upon killing it and removing its head, that eye almost split itself from the creature and attached onto Amrita and kind of bored itself into her forehead. And despite efforts, it didn't seem as though it could be easily removed without serious detriment to her. So she's been kind of existing with it, and it does seem to have its uses at times. The doctor would have seen during the encounter with the Banshee, it did have some influence even over Geists.
Yeah, she relays that whole thing.
It basically just writes everything down, kind of makes sure that he has everything right.
And Doctor, you would have probably heard at least once the rumor of this blood feaster, and then it just kind of everybody stopped talking about it like it wasn't a thing anymore. That's all you really remember from the time. But you've never heard of any creature like that prior. Monster hunting is not your thing, so.
Yeah, but his curiosity is definitely piqued, but it doesn't really show. Remains as expressionless as always, or eventually puts down his notes. Well, in terms of departure, what were you thinking? Are you aiming to go and travel immediately, or what is the plan?
It appears we just keep getting delayed. Might be some other thing happening now.
The werewolves. So that is apparently the guardsmen in this town are most incompetent, unfortunately.
Oh yes, heard the rumors this morning and throughout the night. Who could not hear that while trying to sleep?
Well, I have stopped bothering to incorporate the stupidity of others into my plans. So when they could not secure the beasts, I instead finished the extract.
Speaking of, you would notice or note that at no point yesterday did that Vistani you talked to ever make it back with any additional wolfsbane that you had requested. After you spoke to him, he just bolted apparently.
Yeah, I kind of anticipated as much. He's not overly. It's like, yep, okay. Nothing of value was lost.
Is that why you have... Forgive me if this is up front, but a strange writing of some sort outside your residence?
I'm not aware of such writing, but care to enlighten me, then I am all ears.
Rita stands. Follow me outside and we can show you, and there are other things we have to do today, but I suppose if you would like to accompany us, or if you have other stuff to do, Doctor, seeing as we'll be traveling eventually together anyway.
I don't have any scheduled appointments today, and my extract has been finalized, at least the first draft, so I reckon I can make some time to accompany you. As he just kind of follows.
Does anyone warn him that he might be walking into a vampire's den? Or is it just like, come on with us shopping and try to...
Lorelai like clears her throat like, Amrita, I don't think that's the best idea.
Kind of, why is that?
We just have a lot to do, and you don't know what it is that we have to do, so
Right, that's
you might end up
right.
getting caught up in a bit of a mess.
But if you were to tell me what it is that you're trying to accomplish, then I could see if my expertise would help you in this current scenario.
No, I don't think I will.
That is your decision. Yes. No expression.
And Amrita, at this point, will have opened the door to the front of your residence, which you can already see there's like writing on part of it, just pieces of words. And you immediately recall late, or rather very early in the morning, someone who had been kind of beating on your door trying to get you to come out, and then you'd just gone back to sleep, so needs to connect.
Yeah, he just kind of glanced outside, sees the writing, takes a sip of his tea, goes back inside. Where the simple-minded cretins of this den they think that this does in any fashion impede me, but
A great way to ingratiate you with the common folk is to refer to them as simple-minded cretins.
that is because they are. Most people are idiots.
How's the weather up there on that high horse of yours, Doctor?
I
Lorelei just looks at Amrita like,
We're going to go back to the Frowning's Wrath, whether you choose to go with us now or wait to follow after. Again, there are some other issues, and yes, they may or may not be related to more supernatural things. Who knows? A lot appears to be happening within this city.
just kind of nods, kind of getting his doctor supplies. And one thing that is distinctly different about the way he also delivered his things, he always says things kind of matter of factly. He doesn't seem to be arrogant. He sounds like he's stating facts. He seems to genuinely believe most people are idiots.
Which, whether
Yeah,
you say it arrogantly or not, would probably come across that way.
True.
Yeah.
it's like,
Regardless
bro,
of how
Ben
factual.
Shapiro.
Yeah, if he's getting ready,
Dr.
Amrita
Uncle's
will,
like, fuck,
yeah.
don't care about your
Amrita's gonna take Lorelei outside real quick and just say like one more thing. Now he might be an interesting character, but even if he is different, I did see when he had appeared with that Geist in the graveyard, he helped Asuriel for a moment with some kind of medicine of some kind.
Well, he is a doctor. His bedside manner needs a lot of work, though.
He could be useful, though. Maybe he could help with vampires. Who knows? Or I'm overthinking.
I mean, based on what you told us yesterday, I don't know if we could trust him with delicate information.
I don't know, but
The more people we drag into this, the more people could get hurt. If we want him to help us, it might be good if he's not, like, completely drained of blood.
you know what they say? Keep your friends close, but either way, we need to hurry up.
If you find him useful and worthwhile, I won't argue with you, but he's a bit of a knobhead. I'll just say that. Well then, let's head back before they run off without us.
Which seems exactly like something they would do.
Yep, we're already there. We already killed the vampire. We saved the town.
We get back and everyone's just like covered in blood and exhausted.
Yeah.
And we were gone for 20 minutes!
Yeah, now back to the other chuckle fucks on Innistrad.
Regularly scheduled
Vampire head
programming.
sitting on the table. Well, that was fun.
Have a nice
Question
day.
though, does the doctor follow them, or is he just like prepare for the rest of his day? It's just like, all right,
I
see you
mean,
guys later.
nobody told him to come along, so he just kind of.
Well,
they
yeah,
wanted
Amrita was
along.
like, you can or not, and
Yeah.
Yeah, I
like,
gave you
well,
the
we're not gonna
option.
tell
Like,
you
if you're ready now,
I'm not gonna tell you
let's
what we're
go,
doing.
or-
So he's
yeah.
so it's kind of up to him. Does he want to walk
Yes.
into something unknown or prefer to hang back?
I mean, as I
Roll a
said,
would be
d20 and let it.
Doesn't-
Determine of his character.
doesn't really have much going on, so yeah, you would probably tag along. If only
I
to,
imagine the-
you know,
Curiosity
Study
would
the-
also.
yeah, exactly.
As the pair of cloaked women head back to the tavern, the doctor trails behind not far, keeping pace, and yeah, the three of you end up back at the Frowning's Wrath. During that time, what preparations has Acrio, Killian, and Asuriel been making, if any?
Just filling stomachs.
Yeah. if it's gonna be our last meal, god damn it, we're gonna eat a lot.
All right, I would probably discuss.
We're gonna give the vampire diabetes.
Yeah.
It would be 2 gold for the total meals.
Oh wait, I don't have that. Who does have that? I'm actually
I got
broke
you.
right now.
I never
Yeah,
had
we
any
spent it all
cash.
on a ladder, didn't we?
I bought her clothing, and then I bought her food, and then I bought her supplies, and now I don't have any money.
Speaking
Oh,
of
yeah.
a
Have
surreal,
you ever heard of
sorry, go ahead.
the term sugar daddy? That's what I was going to say.
Oh.
Well,
Go on, Jake.
Anyway, Asuriel, no longer has her that white, large hooded cloak that she had been wearing. So you can again see that strange collar device around her neck.
is it like obnoxiously thick and heavy like his hammer, or is it like
It's
thinner?
it's like if you turn your head to the side, it kind of bites into your skin, sort of like it's the full, like you can't see with my beard, but it's the full
like an
thickness
inch
of a
thick?
normal person's throat.
Oh,
Like
jeez.
thickness, in terms of thickness, it's probably half inch or so, maybe, probably not quite that much, but height wise, yeah, it covers the entirety of her neck.
Ugh. So somebody
There's
had like a
really
really
no way to rock
long
that.
neck. I mean,
And
I've heard that
it does
those-
have the plates on the front, the prongs that also push into the side of her esophagus, which makes breathing and especially eating rather uncomfortable, which is visible whether she wants it to be or not.
I've heard those Nephalians kind of picked up a style like that. They really like their like metal jewelry and piercings and stuff.
Oh, that sounds pleasant.
Yeah, the Nephalians are weird. They like put like metal gauges in their lips and stuff. It's very strange looking.
I like the accents, though.
Yeah. So what
because
did
all
we
just
decide
follow
on
the
for
Thaddeus accent.
Nephalian?
Nephalian is a mixture of like British to Germanic kind of accents, with some like that really that like the genteel Southern kind of like European inspired Southern accent is more like the Stromkirks and the
Got
like
it.
super rich people. Most people just have
Transatlantic vampires.
yeah,
Got
kind of
it.
more like a most
bad
folk that
name,
you would have
sir.
actually met in Nephalia have more of like a simple British kind of Cockney accent on the docks, that sort of thing.
Oh, a bit of a cockney on the
blending
docks.
blending into some Germanic, more like in the southern regions.
Oh, like that asshole that we met the other day that kept taking notes.
I thought he was okay. This would also be looking at that paper and quill left behind by Amrita a bit. She's
Mhm.
had proficiency with calligrapher's tools, but she doesn't remember that.
Sure. I mean, would she just almost like innately kind of experiment just because it's like, oh, this seems normal and natural?
Yeah, probably. She
Doodling.
no, it's like when she starts writing, it's like freakishly good. It looks almost printed.
There's a couple different styles you'd probably try. Some of it is like so pristinely like precise and serifed that it's it's almost like typeset. And then there's other where it's like flourished and a handwriting that is very embellished. And it's like you keep trying these different ones and it's like everything looks amazing to those who are sitting there. You're just writing random words. You write your name a couple times in a couple different scripts and it's just like,
Now, in the normal situation with any other person, I'd ask where you learned that, but you don't know because you're weird. So, any idea?
That's unnaturally perfect. What the?
You must have learned that somewhere because, I mean, mine is just, well, it's probably not as shitty as the doctor we were talking about. You know, at least decent.
Know how to write?
Yeah, I learned.
maybe I was a scribe? I don't know.
Sort of a boring story, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or
I mean,
right for
I
a
don't
living.
think
Well,
I don't think scribes can call down light from the heavens to murder things.
right. Must be more.
Yeah. She kind of like sort of like touches the collar on her neck as she remembers what the angel told her. It's like some fucked up shit happened for the collar to be there. So it's like,
It's like, wow, that's really sad. Hey, where'd you learn to write like that?
Where'd you learn to cuss like that? Were you a
Yeah.
Nephalian sailor?
Can I pick your
That's
brains
actually
about something?
me?
Well, either of you, because I just I'm sort of frightened about what we might be walking into. What's the main goal gonna be? Because for me, it's finding out what happened to Cormac. I don't think our main goal should be kill the guy because right?
Well, you don't kill vampires, but unless they're rabid, the rabid ones you can kill. Well, you can kill the rabid ones.
Rabbits?
Actually killing. Not rabbits, Asuriel. Some of the vampires go hungry, and I think their brain gets a little messed up, turn into more like wild animals. See a lot of them along the pathways between, I think, Stenzia and the rabid vampires are along the path between Gavany and Stenzia. That's where you see a lot of them.
That pass is actually fairly, like, the Cruin Pass is one of the safer passes. Proximity to the Markov Manor likely having something to do with that. The
Run dangerously.
Gatander Pass, that's an issue because it goes through the part of the Sumberwold Forest, and
Yeah.
the Falkenrath being one of the more vicious vampire clans, when they go hungry, they go very feral.
Yeah.
Which, is the exact route that you just sent the Vistani on. So,
Well,
hopefully they make it.
hopefully they make it. We can only hope.
Stani, they're gonna be fine.
You know what? They know all the secret paths. Maybe they'll do a little bit of a board game with the rabid vampires. Yeah,
I
those
mean-
ones you can usually kill. They're not super smart. The other ones you don't really want to fuck with.
All right.
Especially the
So
smart
he's probably
ones.
not going to be Rabbit.
Yeah, definitely not rabid. Ones that
So,
stay near town.
Main goals of this conversation are going to be try and find out what happened to Cormac and
Don't
figure out a
fucking
way to
die.
not have this man as an enemy, because everything we did is going to make him our enemy. We don't want that. So I'm going to try to turn that around. Don't think I can, but I'm going to try. That's the main goals, right?
Sounds about
Yes.
right.
All right. Now, let me then now go run to Magda real quick, try and find her, have her set up a meeting for when the others come back.
So just as you are finishing breakfast and leaving, you spot Emrita and Lorelai, as well as that rather well-mustachioed doctor following them toward the Frowning's Wrath.
You guys don't have fun without me. I get up, walk past them all without saying anything. See you later, Lorelai. Be back in a little bit, and I run off.
Like,
Yeah,
where's
something.
he going?
I have something to do.
Why does he keep doing
sure.
that? Like he's running really far away.
My day is just getting better and better.
Hello.
Hi.
Yes, well, we have business, he and I, so
Sure.
I have business to take care of.
Should I start our other business?
You know what, Doctor? How long have you been in the city of Korsava? Maybe there's something useful or perhaps some insight. Do you know certain names of people?
It depends on what individuals you have in mind. I do know some of the common folk, colleagues, the one colleague, anybody specific that would help to determine if I can help you with that.
Rita looks at Killian, who I think
All right.
freeze? Oh, there it is.
I mean, sort of. I'm always half freezing now, so I'll try and get through it.
All right.
All right. So here, my vote is bring him along because a doc could be really helpful, whatever might happen. Don't plan on it going south, but you never know. Cards on the table.
Before you
for the best
proceed,
expected
I
works.
must ask, are you trying to do anything that would be considered illegal?
No, definitely not. We're actually trying to suss out a crime. That's the main goal.
More so the investigation of a crime than any crime.
mhm.
Okay.
All right, so listen, Doc. We have a pretty good ground set. Well, it's sort of because of you that things went south yesterday. So have you ever heard about this thing called patient-doctor confidentiality?
Alright, that is something I am aware of.
Right, so now we're all your patients. You can't tell shit to this about anyone because, well, you know.
I must stop you right there. Patient-doctor confidentiality would require for me to actually take you in as my patients. This is not something that I am willing to do just to keep quiet. This is a serious matter. If you
And also only applies to like medical conditions. But Killian
he doesn't say
necessarily know
that.
He just thinks if
say
you tell a
that.
doctor something, then they can't
Tell
him.
anything
Yeah,
to anyone.
definitely
That's how
what
that
he
works.
thinks.
You gotta
Tries
kill
to-
someone. It's like you can't tell anybody, right?
How about this?
Confidentiality doesn't count if you say anything illegal as well. Then they can absolutely rat you out.
How about this, Doc? Since you and I do have a literal contract, consider this as another thing. It's not really portraying medically, but if we are all wanting to say, get out of Korsava and go somewhere else, this is something that we'll have to deal with. And given what, again, this morning and seeing, she doesn't really say out loud to the others.
Mhm.
I think it would probably be in your best interest if maybe you consider what that one has to say. He can be a bit pain in the ass, really, but might be useful to hear him out.
Oh, I did not say that I won't hear him out. What I'm saying is, if you want anything to fall under doctor-patient confidentiality, then I would require to do an actual checkup. That is what I wanted to say.
You know, Doctor, I'd be perfectly fine with that. There's something I wanted to talk with you about anyway. And, you know, I'd love to spend more time with you, you know, get to know each other, patient
Get to the
doctor
point,
things.
Killian.
Sure. All right. We'll talk later. It's sort of a private thing we've got going on. Nothing to do with my penis, I promise.
He just,
Rita slaps him up the head.
he just
Lorelai just goes and sits
starts
for the
writing.
cereal.
Yeah, he just kind of starts writing. Yeah.
Doodling.
Oh
Rose
no!
has
Oh
been
no!
staring blankly this whole time.
Patient has a
All right.
mental illness, the gaze. We're back in the 1930s, boys and girls.
Oh god.
Sorry, I started to ramble. The point being, we're going to talk to. Have you ever heard of a thing called a vampire?
As Killian says that there's no real expression. Yeah, he just kind of. I do know of vampires, yes, given the region we are in.
All right, so listen, we're sort of caught up in the middle of a something, and we're trying to figure out what it is. And in order to do that, we have to go talk to a very dangerous individual who knows our every move. I'm gonna try and smooth talk, since, I'm sort of decent at that. But things might go south, and I'd love to have a doctor on board.
When you say dangerous individual, and with you mentioning vampires just prior to that, am I correct to assume that this individual might perhaps be a vampire?
Very well deduced, Doctor.
I do have some means of dealing with those kinds of pests. I would require some more time to prepare, but I could create the toxins that would at least impede.
That sounds perfect. Thanks, Doc. Yeah, we still need to set up the meeting anyway. It might take a bit.
How long would that take me, DM, to?
I mean, the materials required are a little bit more the
Rare.
issue, because
Yeah.
it's not rare. It's you need a dead man's blood. So unless you have access to some bodies,
Yeah, then you would just kind of, as Killian says that, without really missing a beat or really, regarding what he says as outlandish, do you perhaps have access to a corpse or another sort of dead body? I would require some components.
Well, no.
Can you get me access to a corpse then?
Are you asking me to kill someone, Doc?
No, I'm asking if you have access to a corpse. I saw
God, you
your
scared me.
friend was a Kessa, so perhaps the church is willing to donate.
Yeah, I'm not here.
Yeah, I know, but
Get away from
stating
me.
that you're a Kessa.
No, I'm not.
never seen the church before in my life.
Dawned in-
That's
Symbols of Avacyn everywhere. No, I'm not a Cathar. What are you on about?
Go for it.
Cathar? Is that a dish or something?
Yeah.
What type of animal?
Yeah. But yeah, he just kind of he just asks.
Lorelai just
think you'd have to
stares
talk
at the
to him.
doctor deep concern.
See, if it helps alleviate any of your worries, the toxin I'm speaking of, and forgive me for saying this, but I don't believe any of you would know of it, seeing as you don't strike me as the type of people. It is called Dead Man's Blood. This is a concoction distinctly created with the purpose of messing with the undead, or more in particular vampires. But
Quick point that you would be very aware of: vampires in Innistrad are not undead, so you would not classify them as such. They'd be
okay.
more along the lines of a humanoid monstrosity.
Okay.
They're kind of considered their own thing. Like Dead Man's Blood
Mhm.
it's a vampire thing.
Yeah, okay.
Doesn't really do anything to undead because they're a separate species.
Okay. Yeah.
I guess you would say.
Then we'll just pretend like what he said was.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
nothing
didn't
was
mention
said.
undead. That didn't happen.
Yeah, no words.
Exactly.
Mm.
It's just like it deals with the specific conditions that is afflicting the vampiric organism.
Interesting.
Well, I'm not really. I don't have a vial of that man's blood. I'm gonna be really honest with you.
Would an animal's blood work, or would that be easier for them to tell?
DM, I don't reckon
It would not have any effect because vampires are specifically
feeding on humans.
required to feed on humans.
okay.
They have a more distinct relationship biologically with humans because that's what they were originally. And yeah, the dead blood of a human has an effect on them. Animals' blood wouldn't really do it. And yeah, it also has to be prepared in a certain way and mixed with other catalysts, I suppose you'd say. Yeah, animals' blood would not do anything.
Perfect interview with a vampire reference. Just gotta say that. Sorry, it's like yes.
Yeah, but he would just relay that as he's just like unfortunately the nature or the components of animal bloods won't affect the vampires the way that the blood of a deceased human would. So I'm afraid that is not an option.
What about humans' blood?
Not quite sure who that is.
The herbalist that got murdered.
Oh, he's the
recently.
one that I performed the autopsy on.
And you would
I
know
mean,
he was drained basically of every bit of blood he had from his body onto the floor of the cell. So you would think that there wouldn't be a way to really harvest any, unfortunately, from that corpse.
And I don't assume like ground up or some other way prepared meat or something would suffice. It needs to be blood, right? Yeah. Okay.
And it has to be blood harvested from somebody who has actually died, not just you cut yourself and you let the blood.
Yeah.
I was gonna
for
say
a
because if
little
that's
while.
all it takes.
Exactly.
I know what I
There
can do.
is something almost, it's not exactly magical, but there is something different in Innistrad terms. There is something different about blood from a corpse versus blood that just like would die from being out of the body. Those are two different things in Innistrad, effectively.
I mean, it makes sense because again, it's like interview with a vampire. I'll stop now.
Yeah, then he would just reply when he becomes aware of that this is the individual. Fortunately, the blood has been drained, so that body does not yield any components.
Don't you work with the other doctor in the city? Maybe there's a body that recently has been autopsied that you could get it from.
I could make an inquiry, that is a fair point. I will have to see how much Dr. Stein is inclined to help in this matter, but I will give it a shot. Is there any specific time for when you want to do this? I would advise against the night.
Yeah, it's going to be today, at least. As soon as possible, with daylight. Don't have any specific time, I can tell you, but...
Right, was that all, or is there anything else I need to know? Anything else I should be aware of?
I'm single.
This is me out of character.
You knocked him out of character, Stone. Well done.
But the doctor doesn't react. He's just like moving on, very much just
Takes another note.
and he kind of just
aside from this man's constant flirtations, perhaps I am also familiar already with Dr. Stein as well. I could accompany you, Dr. Engel, to go see him, and perhaps the others we can divide up and figure this out. If Killian is wanting to figure it out today. Could be a good idea, so that way no other civilians or anyone else gets hurt.
Divide and conquer. I like it. Go to Magda. You figured your stuff out. Keep in contact.
Once we prepared everything, we will either return with the toxin, or if we were unable to acquire the ingredients, then we will return to the inn and wait for your arrival, your return. He just kind of nods and then leaves to maybe get some blood from a dead guy.
Yeah, and Rita will follow the doctor, but look over at Asuriel and Lorelei. One of you going to stay with Killian, or both?
Sure.
Might as well make sure he doesn't get into too much trouble.
Yeah, I should not be left alone.
Yeah, no, yeah. Can't leave him unsupervised.
Killian, I need an adult.
A daddy, you could say.
No.
Stop saying words.
Stop. Alrighty then. Yep. I have also left the Frowning Giraffe again, so yeehaw.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Amrita and Dr. Engel, you make your way to Dr. Van Stein's house. Knocking on the door, it's very quiet, and there's no reply. It's mid-morning at this point.
Should he normally be up?
Yeah, you would think he would definitely be up by this point, yeah.
Mm-hmm. The doctor will knock again, kind of call out just, Dr. Stein, are you there? See
Again,
if
you
there's
would
anything.
receive no reply. You do know that there's not much of a veterinary presence. Like, there's a few people who work with cattle and stuff, but this being the new moon, when flocks and herds are starting to go through the breeding season, birthing season, Van Stein has been known to assist with that.
Okay.
Rita will turn her head at one point, just kind of just like scratch her nose, and just tries to see if she can pinpoint where he went.
Make a survival check. I'd say the best you can tell is it doesn't smell as though he is here, present.
Yeah, I don't know. After about an hour or 1.5 hours of waiting, if he's still not back, then
I mean, you're going to physically stand on the guy's doorstep for an hour and a half?
I mean, the doctor would probably go back to his own house to prepare the rest of the ingredients, so that he only needs the dead man's blood, and then kind of make his return.
So for that being a poison recipe, it will require 10 gold worth of materials. Or is it 25 for the base poison? I can't remember.
Let me check.
Because yeah, you'll basically have to purchase all of the base ingredients.
It's no least 25. Does anybody have 19 gold? You know,
Fuck no.
Totally unrelated reasons.
I don't have 19. I have
We are-
9 gold and a copper, bruh.
We are broke ass bitches. We have not got.
I don't even think we have 19 gold
Yeah.
combined.
Would the doctor know of Galliana's past as a monster hunter?
Probably. She's not the most hidden about that. Kind of tells a lot of people, honestly.
Yeah.
Anyone who listen.
Yeah, he would look at Amrita, just kind of. Unfortunately, it seems that I am a bit short on funds, but I do know of a person that we might be able to persuade into giving us the necessary ingredients. We will have to try our luck.
Then we should hurry and head that way. Maybe it'll help the time pass, and eventually we'll see Dr. Stein later.
Yeah, then off to Galliana's place.
Well, you piece of shit. That just happens to be where Acrio is.
And
So yeah,
we're going.
where has Acrio been at Galliana's place?
It just so happens that that's where I was going, and I got there first because I'm a cool kid.
And you
Right,
also left
way
first.
earlier in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, you would find the general store, as it always is. There's people going in and out through the morning, doing their shopping. Mostly women, restocking for the week. By now, most of those who work the fields have left the city to do whatever they have to. As I said, new moon, that's the planting season, so whatever crops are grown around Corsiva are having to be, tilled, planted, that sort of thing. So it's fairly intensive work. You have to be up early and get as much done as you can before night comes. You have to get the hell back to town.
I know a lot about that before I abandoned my parents.
Yep, exactly. But anyway, yes, the general store, you step up onto the wooden stairs, kind of on that wooden boardwalk that connect a bunch of the stores. Talbot is sitting there kind of underneath the main kind of there's a seating chair just out front in front of the one big windows, and the dog kind of looks up at you, just tongue out, panting,
Scratch
interested in new people.
Scratch dog, make sure they're not as aggressive as the shopkeeper inside.
Not as aggressive, no.
Oh, good. They don't bite my hand off.
No.
Awesome. Into the store we go.
Mhm.
Look around. No, I don't have any money to buy anything. That's unfortunate. Walk up to the counter while nobody else is in my way.
Sure. Yeah, wait for a few people to finish out their shopping and purchases. Galliana just leans forward on her elbows. Well, it doesn't look like you're buying nothing.
Alright, I've got a job. And first off, I want to know if you're interested in lending a hand. One final escapade, possibly. Got a bit of a vampire problem. Might be that the church will pay you, might not be. I don't know. But you seem to be the resident vampire murder hobo. Murder storekeeper.
That was something my late husband and I used to do. And we were good at it, but those years have passed. What exactly is your vampire problem? I know there are several here, as I've mentioned.
Well, I don't care about all the other ones. I care about one in particular. And I need to know that when I go talk to it, it's not going to rip my throat out, and I might be able to, stab it in the face and kill it a couple times. Maybe
It could
have
probably
some
rip
help.
your face off.
I mean, yeah. So I'd like to maybe delay that process enough to run away or kill it.
What exactly did you have in mind?
I don't know. You're the vampire expert. We're gonna try and talk to it, but you never know with this kind of stuff.
What exactly are you trying to talk with a vampire about?
So, turns out werewolves aren't really the problem here, as I was led to believe first arriving here. kind of turns out that whatever's going on here, werewolves don't like vampires, vampires don't like werewolves. It's a whole thing. We think the vampires fucking around, killing people, killing werewolves, doing a lot of shit that's killing a lot of people, and I think it's my job to take care of it. Unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
That's what vampires do.
Yeah, well, eventually when they stick their noses out too far into human civilization, the humans tend to bite back a little, and I have to be that bite.
Admirable. Here's the question. Why haven't vampires stuck their noses out, as you call it?
Well, mostly they treat us like livestock, so not
Exactly.
really a threat.
When does a rancher not just show up whenever it can? Vampires in Corsiva are keeping a lower profile than they should be, which is the reason I haven't stirred the pot, as it were.
All right. Well, we've got one
Ow.
that isn't exactly keeping a low profile, so
Which one?
do I know his name?
Do you know his name? Which one? are you talking about?
I personally literally have no memory.
Okay.
So
Acrio
I'm
would. Then
who's-
Acrio would know
who's-
the plan is to go talk to Reardon Doyle.
Yeah, we got Reardon Doyle. We need to have a lovely discussion with.
Right. Not sure exactly what you want. The hawthorn trees are starting to bud. You can always just whittle yourself a stake.
You know, I never understood why they didn't just wear like a very large metal plate over their heart.
Bunch of
Feels-
them do.
Yeah, we'll find out.
Of course,
if
you
this
don't have to.
works.
You don't have to hit the heart. Living
Oh.
wood, you can get him in the arm, get him in the neck. The
Oh,
face
really?
is my preference. Might not be quite as effective, but it'll do the trick.
Hmm.
Might just have to apply a few more.
It's like one to the heart, but like 3 or 4 to the face.
5 or 6 or 7.
Fair enough. 2, 1 for each eye, maybe 2 in the ears, 1 in the mouth.
Get creative with it. I'll not stop you there.
Yeah. Anyway, that is really fucked up despite it being a vampire. Alright, any other recommendations for not getting my face torn off? Silver, adamantine, magical bullshit that vampires don't like.
Not much. They don't even care much for silver. It doesn't. You can distract them maybe with a mirror. Some of them hate to see their own reflection, what they would
Alright.
have been if they were human. Best thing I can tell you is, for whatever reason these vampires are keeping low, play into that. They won't want to be exposed, or else they would have done it themselves already.
Yeah.
They have a strange sense of honor.
Well, I have no idea what any of that means, but I'm gonna tell a lot of other people, and they'll probably know what it means a lot more.
Just kind of like looks over your Cathar armor. Yeah, that makes sense.
Good with a hammer, not so much the brains.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay, you already said that. Fucking asshole. God, you're sure you're not from Stenzia? You really seem like a Stenzian.
We settled here well.
Got it. Alright, well, you have a... Actually, you know where I could find one of them hawthorn trees? Kind of not been here before. I want to go into somebody's yard and cut a branch off their personal tree.
I mean, there's plenty of groves around.
Alright.
A lot of the houses will be built around a good amount of trees. Honestly, I don't think anyone's going to question it if you do.
Yeah. Vampire's a vampire. Alright, well. Have a wonderful fucking day.
I shall.
Sure you will. Gotta skedaddle on off.
Mm-hmm.
see the doctor go in the opposite direction.
And Killian.
We would be trying to find Magda in sort of the same place.
Which, if you did a quick pass over the store, you would see she's not currently there. You do know where she lives.
All right. Yeah, then we'll head off that direction. Sort of wave to Acrio in the store.
Oh, fuck.
As
No,
you,
Magda's house.
Yeah, you make your way there. It's a small cottage-style house, single story. It's comfortable. You get the impression she probably still lives with her mother, just in the basis that it doesn't seem like a single-person home necessarily, and she wasn't like living with Cormac or anything like that. So, yeah, you would suspect this is also Galliana's house. And yeah, if you knock on the door, she will answer it.
Good morning, Magda.
Oh, morning. Am I right in guessing this is about a favor you had kind of asked for the other day?
Yeah, sort of. I'd love to have a conversation with them.
Right. You said you had a way to something you were going to tell him a story. What should I say?
Yeah, well, I think he knows a lot. But let's just start with this. And I sort of pull a large rectangular package from my back.
I mean, it's like that big, but yeah.
It's not large, but it's...
It's funnier to imagine it is.
Mm-hmm.
I had something to sell to him. To someone else, actually, first. Then I met with Cormac. He was going to set me up with him. Through some avenues, I found another way. And through you're going to set me up with him.
Right, so it's some kind of artwork that he might be interested in, putting up on his wall.
Mm-hmm. That's all you need to say.
Okay.
He probably won't believe it. That's the story, but I'm sure it's enough to at least set up the meeting.
I'll see what I can do.
Thank you, Magda.
You're welcome. Shit, what have I got myself into? So as Killian has gotten an arrangement set up to meet with this supposed vampire, likely at his estate, other preparations being made, Amrita and the doctor also heading to Galliana's general store.
That was the plan, yes.
Yeah, sure. And as we're just like kind of walking to the store, Amrita's gonna... Are there other people on the street besides us and when we're going in that direction?
Yeah,
does it
there are
sound
people
like
on the streets.
Yeah, does it sound like there's any more chatter about
Sure, potentially. Roll a d10 plus 5, please.
Cool. I get 15 again. Oh, are you serious? Why do I keep getting 15? I want to know. If I see those same bitches that pricked me.
So that was not the 15. In this situation, you happen to run across that same dude from yesterday who was basically shouting at you that, everything around here was your guys' fault. It started when you arrived, and maybe things were better when Yond was still around. Basically ranting that now there are werewolves loose in the city, and yeah.
Rita stares at that person, but she says nothing and just tries to avoid him if possible, just walking straight forward with Dr. Engel.
What does he think of this situation? Some random idiot yelling at Amrita that she's the reason for all this.
Oh, is he yelling that right now? Because
Yeah, pretty
Really?
much.
Okay.
Like as you walk down the street and he catch sight of you, and it's not like he's going into a tirade. It's just a couple, jeering shouts about, if it weren't for them, there wouldn't be werewolves in the town and all that shit. Yond was better. Stupid shit like that.
Is he within normal talking distance? Because the doctor's not gonna shout us some shit.
I mean, he's like across the road. If you want to walk across to him, you can. But he's not like stopping to. He's like just as he's walking and you're going the other way, just like again,
Okay.
being a dick.
Yeah, then he would probably just kind of look at Amrita, just kind of, as I said, most people are idiots. Then just continues moving.
I agree.
Your friend doesn't seem to view it the same way.
I mean, perhaps. Never mind. Like Amrita tries to
It's kind of
go to
when you
say
said like never
whatever,
mind, just
but-
like
yeah.
you tell. No. If there is something that is on your mind, do not be afraid to speak your mind.
Why don't we discuss more personal things later?
Very well. Then let's see if we can acquire the ingredients that we need. Hopefully, we manage to get everything in a timely fashion.
Very well.
Also approaching the general store through the main market up the boardwalk. Again, there's still people shopping, so you can either barge in or wait in line. That's up to you.
He would wait because he's not a dick. Hey, yes, manners. Just
It's just internally.
Lorelai gets like a spider sense off in the distance. I feel someone having manners. No.
But no, as you finally approach, Galliano will look over everything that you don't have to purchase. Oh, good. Here we go again.
Right. I hate to do this, but would there be any sort of way that these components could be purchased at a reduced price? We are trying to hunt a very particular individual, a very peculiar one.
Are you like
Kind of-
giving her a list to look at?
Yeah.
She'll kind of look it over. Are you with the fellow from earlier, I guess?
I do not know which fellow. There are a couple.
The Cathar, the new one in
yes,
town?
Then yes, that would be accurate, I believe.
Yes.
I was given to understand you wanted to talk with this individual, not hunt. Not sure that would be a good idea.
Let's just say we're trying to cover all the bases.
She does have a point, though, but if he has a backup plan, I'm not sure. That's what the others say to do.
I could get these things for you, but I'm not sure about a reduced cost.
How much?
For all this, some of this is pretty rare, you understand. Probably need 20.
That is unfortunately not the kind of money I have on my person. Right now, I could give you all that I have personally, which would be 6 good pieces. As kind of looks to Amrita to see if she wants to give any money.
I don't have much on me either. Only 9, and I'll need some of the provisions to get out of Korsava. But however, do you need any new hunting traps at all, Gallion?
Not really.
Mm.
Are you trying to sell your old one?
Yeah, like blood and gore and like a
She
piece
cleans it. Hey.
Sure, but it's still used and not new at all.
Good, it's new. What are you talking about? Okay. Is there? I assume there are still other people in the store that are like looking around, or is it like literally just?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, there's still people shopping and picking up items. Probably several people in line behind you.
The doctor just kind of looks at Guardiana. Would there be anything that could change your mind, or is that what would make you inclined to consider this discount? I am aware that this is quite a stretch. You have a.
She would probably say, "Look, I don't really know you enough to care whether or not you get yourself killed."
Right? That is very fair. So I take this as a no then.
Probably be a good way to take it.
Very
I would recommend you don't get yourself killed.
I would recommend the same, yes. Anyway, I'm sorry for wasting your time, and have a good day. And yep, he just leaves.
Yeah, Amrita lingers for a moment and nods her head toward Galliana. Hope you have a decent day.
Like I told your Cathar friend, whittle yourself a steak. It's the best you're going to be able to do. But I would avoid using it if possible.
I would quite agree, but it doesn't hurt to have all the cards on the table. And she leaves and follows the doctor.
Several of the people in line behind you kind of like look at each other like, wait, what was talking about? What now?
Wait, wooden steak? Oh god.
What?
Confused screaming.
I guess, yeah, the doctor just kind of looks at Amrita. This was unfortunately a waste of time. We can check back with my colleague, see if he would be inclined to give us a loan to purchase the additional ingredients, but I wouldn't count on it.
Maybe, but if he's... I don't think it's been that long. How long has it actually been since we checked that he was there last?
Like 20 minutes max.
Yeah.
20 minutes?
Okay.
It hasn't been that long, Doc, since we went to his estate, or home, I should say. So maybe we could see what the others came up with and go back to the tavern. I know that may not be sound like a useful method, but
I mean,
see what they have.
we don't really have anything else to do, so
No. We'll do that, and then we'll check with Van Stein after.
That sounds like a plan. Yes, yeah. I guess we're going back.
Yes.
What have Lorelai and Suriel been doing to occupy their time during this morning?
Great question.
we followed Killian, right?
Like, we were supervising him,
sure,
but we
yeah.
didn't. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Then yeah.
They were
Just
just
from afar,
quiet.
we're minding our own business.
Yeah, they're like, we're hanging out in the shadows.
Then after about 20-30 minutes, the three of you can all see Magda approaching. She seems a little bit just like power walking. She's kind of being quick.
Oh boy.
Ethereal waves, like nothing is wrong at all.
She like very quickly waves like and kind of gestures for you to approach.
We will alacritously.
One big steppy towards her.
Mm-hmm. And she'll just kind of be like, "Okay, it's ready." He thinks you're selling some kind of art piece. Get you in the door. I would be careful of the butler, Mr. Pierce. He's protective of Doyle himself.
It's very
Mr.
understandable.
Pierce sounds like a very ironic name.
Yeah.
Keeps himself, or keeps a tight view of everything that goes on in the estate.
Sure. At what time is the meeting set?
2 hours. It'll be about 1 p.m. He'll be expecting you.
Right. Is there anything you can warn us about something Doyle wouldn't like me bringing up? Something he might get angry about, or something that just shouldn't be said in his presence? Anything like that?
Well, I would avoid mentioning that you seem to know of our arrangement, his situation with, well, you know, Cormac and everybody. It's just best to not, if you can.
Right. Keep that in mind. Magda, we owe you a lot. Don't worry about anything else.
Okay. I don't know how you spoke with Cormac after he had passed, but the message you passed along, I mean, that's payment enough for everything.
Death is a really interesting thing, in my opinion.
Can't say as I'm too interested myself.
Serial
It's
slowly looks at him.
understandable. I don't think it should mean the things we stick to. He's there, you remember him. That should be enough. That's what I said.
I wish I could agree with you. Maybe someday I will. Just try not to get on anyone's bad side at the estate. And I don't know
I'll try my darndest.
I don't know what they might know about Cormac's situation and what they should have done about it, didn't. I don't know.
I have some thoughts, and I think some will be confirmed today. Thanks to you.
And can you not mention my name? That would be
Of
very much
course.
appreciated.
Definitely. We will keep you out of this. Try and lie low. We'll make sure this doesn't come back to bite you.
Kind of
Literally.
like rubs at her neck. Right. Got work to do.
Stay safe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that was the best phrase to use.
I hate myself already. Just don't add to it.
Pats
good.
her on the head.
Sounds like one of the jokes I'd make.
Acrio, are you trying to procure
Oh,
a large amount of wood?
a
Hey.
decent quantity,
Mm-hmm.
enough to tuck into my breastplate.
Okay. You mean like trying to make like small stakes that you can hide inside, or like make a second layer of breastplate?
So when he stabs, like punches me in the chest to rip my heart out, he stabs himself on the stakes and he kills himself.
They fall for it every time.
Every time. Not even close, baby.
Not even close, baby.
Are you proficient with woodworker's tools?
Nope.
So you can still, like anyone can whittle a stake, but I'm gonna have you make probably a dexterity check to determine like how many you can do, how quickly, and like ones that will be viable to use.
Sure. I put them on the forge and hit them with my hammer to sharpen them. I'm like, wait, what the fuck? This isn't how it works. Dexterity. Nope. I make a single one, and not even that.
And that one itself might break. Like you've harvested some branches and you start to try to like whittle them down, but every time it's like you either take too much of a chunk out of it, or it's so sharp that it would just snap if you hit something like even partially solid like clothing and leather. So yeah, it's like you have one that might work. You've kind of got one chance. If it gets to it, you can try it once.
I really should have spent more time with my family. I could cheat, and no, I can't cheat because I already used my. Could I?
I mean, you've taken a short rest since. So the thing about it would be, you could make a stake, but it wouldn't be living wood. So you just make a sharp stick, but it wouldn't do anything. It has to be living wood. It has to be harvested and still green.
Got it. Interesting. Wait, so why a hawthorn specifically?
That's just they're random. Like they're a very well occurring tree. That doesn't have to be hawthorn. It could be any of them. But that's
literally
just what
just
is
a freshly cut.
it's just there are a lot of hawthorn trees in Stinzia, so that's just kind of what they use. And it's sturdy wood. It doesn't like you could use cedar or pine, but that's always like really sticky. There's a lot of sap. People don't go for that because it's like messy. Hawthorn is just one of the most viable options, but it could be any.
Okay.
As you go to reconvene with the others, I'm going to say you do happen to pass. There's this sign up on like a bulletin board that's like looks like it's been there for a while, and you just happen to catch sight of it tacked up there, and that is what you just happen to glance upon.
Huh. A 100 copper pieces, that's a whole gosh dang gold. For a whole week?
This is so suspicious.
Spouses and children welcome. Okay.
But yeah, you just happen to notice that tacked up on a wall.
Interesting. Bird work. Coal and gold. Oh wait, Lionel Vinstone. That's in fucking
That's Kessig.
it's Kessig, yeah.
Which is
So
odd because
sus.
there's not a lot of mining done in Kessig, but it's kind of like the other side of the Gaia Reach. It seems they've discovered or opened up some kind of vein.
Well, with that, I'm gonna reconvene with the rest of the people.
Emerita and Dr. Engel, when you do finally go to check again on Van Stein, the house is still completely quiet. There's still no indication that anyone's come or gone.
Oh, I thought we were going straight to the Frowning's Laugh, but all right.
Yeah, there
Well,
was the.
Yeah.
Sure.
Or I guess if we were to walk by it, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, anyway.
I'm just saying, whenever you do go to check, he's still not there.
Oh,
Alright.
okay.
Oh, all right.
I mean, we're going like after being to the inn again, then yeah, Dr.
Yeah.
Engel would definitely kind of look at this. Just that is highly irregular. You should be back, even if there was an appointment.
I mean, think about it. This city of course, it only has so many medical people, and if there are, say, animals outside as well as people, or he's probably, I assume, all over the place, given the time of season. But I don't know. Just need to hurry up and see what the others had planned out.
Dr. Engel would check the door, see if it's locked.
It does appear to be locked.
Okay, yeah, he's not breaking in. Yeah.
Rita's not going to tell him that she has the means
Rita's
to
just
do
like
that.
quietly puts away her lockpick set.
Yeah, he has no idea about that.
Yeah, he just tries the door, pauses for a moment, and then just, returns to the inn. Doctor's probably fucking dead, probably bleeding out or some shit on the carpet.
Great. Have faith in the man at least.
He has a job.
Yeah, he's got a job. It's daytime, bro.
No, it's Innistrad. He's definitely dead.
I was gonna say, having a job
Whatever.
doesn't protect you from anything.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Vampires are just like, oh wait, you have a career? Sorry, my bad.
Sorry.
No, I just needed reasons why he wouldn't be there. Not like
Oh,
reasons
I
he wouldn't be
gotcha.
dead.
Yeah.
plot twist.
I'm not be like, he can't die, he has a job.
It's like plot twist.
That's
Oh,
what
you're
he
in
found
marketing.
out.
Oh, you
He was
did.
out on like an appointment, but one of the fucking cows had like rabies and just ate him or some shit.
Yeah.
Like, whoops.
He still has work.
But no,
to do.
Emrita, you would know that he does practice like on like his medical profession on people out of his home. It's a home office, so it is strange that he's still gone. But yeah, not much you can do about it at this moment.
Jake,
As they're
seems
walking-
kind of sus to you.
Yeah, Maria's just thinking about it.
What is it?
It might. I don't know. As long as
Okay.
I've been in Kosovo anyway, he would also always work from his homestead, so I don't
That
know him
is-
that well, but maybe it could be means of concern, but I don't want to think the latter at this time.
That was my hunch as well. Seeing as he
I-
usually should be back.
I saw you went for the door. I mean, I may or may not have a means to unlock the door, but whether or not we should.
The doctor will look around if anybody, is there or watching them.
I mean, it is the daytime, so people are out and about. I don't know if
Mhm.
anybody's directly watching you, but there are people who could see.
Yeah. Could he position himself in such a way that he kind of stands, if any onlooker is there, that they don't see what Amrita's doing? See her.
You
don't see
could.
her,
I don't know that it wouldn't look suspicious, though.
Yeah, I mean, that is very fair.
So you
Yeah,
can
the
certainly
doctor-
try.
Yeah. Yeah, the doctor will just kind of look at Amrita, just kind of looks back to the door. It's your call. If you want to check to make sure that is fine, we can do that, or we can come back at a later time.
Does it look like there are any guards about in this area?
I mean, yeah, guards patrol fairly frequently.
I say we give him some time, and if he's not back in the time when night has kind of fallen, then we can go inside. But right now, there's too many people. I don't want to risk it.
Indeed.
Also,
Then
everybody else is already on edge given recent events. I don't want to add to it.
let us reconvene with the others for the time being. Oh my god. Oh, my brain just went, hey, but even if Dr. Stein is dead, then hey, at least we got Dead Man's blood, right?
No!
What the fuck is wrong?
Bruh.
What the fuck?
Doctor
No.
Analytical
like,
doctor thinking.
easy.
Dogs.
I will cry if this man is dead. I didn't know him long, but still.
It's like the doctor checking his pulse and is he dead? Like, nah, he's just sleeping.
Oh, jeez.
In a pool of
Please.
blood.
Yeah.
All right.
You all, you can make your way back to the Frowning's Wrath. Everyone kind of reconvening. Eventually, I assume Acrio heads that way with his one wooden stake that he's got that
Yeah.
probably might work.
Kind of sad, just kind of holding it at his side. When he gets there, he just kind of holds it out and then tosses it on the table.
Dick?
Yeah, it's a stick. Not my. Handles are a lot easier. They're just kind of like round with a hole in it, and I guess not my finest work.
Hmm. So we're all in the tavern now, then,
Mhm.
right? All
Yeah.
right. Yeah. Is there any way Amrita could pick up the stick and try to whittle it better?
The problem is this one is like to the point where if you do much more to it, it's going to become brittle. Like you could potentially go harvest more wood, but also it's getting close to the time of the meeting. So how much time you want to spend on that
Just like
is up to you.
everybody grab a stick and just start carving on our way. Call it a day.
Okay.
I'm gonna upload real quick what at least the Catharan would know about staking vampires, because this is
Medium
a
rare.
thing that I am using in this. So like living wood still hurts them no matter what you do, but if you're trying to actually stake them in the traditional staking a vampire methodology, then this is how that's going to work.
Staking shot. A creature fighting a vampire can attempt a staking shot using a stake or staking ammunition. When making a staking shot, you suffer disadvantage. Oh god. Oh no.
Keep in mind, this is when they would be bloodied, so they would have a -2 on their AC, so it is a little bit easier, but it's also you have to be very precise with the shot, so the disadvantage is like, can you actually get it in the correct location or not?
Oh boy. That's almost as tricky as I imagine it really would be.
You guys have a stake, not really enough time to make any more,
Damn it.
so keep that in mind. If you do think that you're gonna want to attempt to fight a vampire,
I don't think
it's
I don't
like
think that's on the
it's a
cards.
backup plan.
It's if they start shit, right? This is for if they start shit with us, right? This is not like
This is the Plan F plan.
Plan Z.
Yeah.
Plan
Plan
get some F's in the
Z.
chat.
Plan V.
Yeah. W, X, Y, and Z.
Oh, what? Sitting in the Frowning's Wrath, I'll bring up. So there's something that's sort of been bugging me. I can't figure it out. I'm not sure what to do with it in the conversation we're about to have. This man, Doyle, he's a recluse. He doesn't want anyone to know what he is, why he is, or... It doesn't seem like him, right? It doesn't seem like a man who would write on a wall in a prison one of them for one of us, whatever. It seems
Maybe.
too public. Like he didn't do it.
Find out.
Fuck.
Maybe there's another vampire here that's.
I mean, didn't Magda
Trying
just
to-
tell us to be wary of his butler? Maybe his butler was.
He has a butler. Well, I shouldn't be surprised. A man with that kind of money.
What's up?
It sounds like a third party that's trying to set them up against each other.
Well, then maybe that's what we find out here. And if it isn't him, then. Well, we can't really do anything. We're here to find whoever killed Cormac, and if it's not Doyle, then we can't. We have to kind of leave it there.
Oh God.
What?
Nope. Okay. Yeah. Let's go talk to this vampire.
You done having your existential crisis?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Avison.
Now, I'm going into this conversation not knowing all the cards on the table, and I don't think he has all the cards either, so it will be a sort of push and pull of information, revealing what I know, revealing what he knows. It's going to be tense, and I might suck
gonna
at
be
it
dangerous.
because I haven't done it for a long time.
As long
Wish
as
me
you
luck.
don't- As long as you don't try to flirt with this vampire, that would be great.
It doesn't seem like my type. Meaningful glance at Doctor.
No reaction.
Do you want help going into
Minkus?
this, Killian?
Like what you did before with the Geist.
Yeah. It's only for an hour, but I don't. It's not that I don't doubt you. It's just a failsafe.
I think it might be useful, but I also don't want to drain you.
It won't.
I think it's worth it. Though. No, never mind. It's cool. We'll do it.
In less than an hour, so
Right before we go in, then.
right before we go in.
So, everyone, like Lorelei said, be respectful to the butler. He seems to not like people. Which is cool. I mean, people suck most of the time. Other than that, just let me do the talking. I've always wanted to say that. It sounds really cool. I
You
ruined
talk
it.
anyway.
I mean, yeah.
Too much.
If there's any
Let's
point
hurry.
you'd like to jump in to save my ass, do it, please, because I probably won't know when to stop.
I don't know
Alright,
either.
that's all.
Well, I'm sure nothing bad will happen.
I'm so sure they won't be suspicious of an entire entourage following a single salesperson in.
You know, I'd pull out a bow and have a sniper shot lined up 300 feet away, but I've not exactly picked one up before in my life.
Couldn't hit the broadside of a barn at 30 paces.
Yeah. Yeah, simple weapons, and that's it. Oh, nice.
If you guys are heading that direction, I'm going to have one person roll a d10 plus 10.
Oh,
That's
jeez.
so-
10! Ooh.
No hands.
No hands.
No hands.
Ooh,
I'll do it.
reach the new table.
No, Salty's doing it, I think.
Ew.
So many 15s.
It's the day of
It's-
15s, man.
The same guy.
Nice.
Somehow
Fucking
you
heckler!
run across this same dude who's just like, he's an older guy, doesn't seem to have any like tasks and chores to do, and it kind of has too much time on his hands, and he just starts, you know,
That's so funny.
He's a neat.
Can we
railing
get
against
him a
you
name?
guys.
Hey, Ricky, fuck off!
Probably not in this
We'll go
setting,
with
no.
Ricardo. His name's Ricardo.
Nice.
All right.
Does he like talk to all of us, or is he just focusing on Lorelei and Rita?
at first, and then it's like he goes into an anti-Vistani tirade because you're here.
Working his way down the line.
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
Right,
Yeah. Lovely person all around.
He
right.
just gets to Shira's like, you're fucking weird.
You're a woman!
All right, continuing onward.
The Doyle estate is on kind of the northeast end of the town, within the walls, but not necessarily right next to them. It's in kind of a wealthier area. Most of the houses you're passing at this point are 2 stories. Some of them have like guest houses on the property. You're getting into the area where certainly the more affluent people live. Just strange because it's very far from the burgomaster's estate, but his was kind of like central to the town, and kind of like everything was around that. And of course, whoever is the burgomaster can live there, so it's currently unoccupied. But you have the address. Magda would have given it to you. Kind of like weaving through these places where there's a lot more like lawns. People have like grass is starting to grow. People have more property in this area. Houses are spaced out, which you're used to more in the cities. Everything's kind of like cramped, and all the houses and apartments are on top of each other. In this area, this end of town, it's like everything's very open. There are a lot of trees, hawthorns, evergreens, and everything is starting to turn more green, even not just like the cypress and pine trees that are kind of adorning people's lawns, very pristinely trimmed into cones. Even the deciduous trees are all starting to bud and take leaf in the new moon season. And yeah, the Doyle estate is 2-story. There are like several columns kind of holding up the upper porch. It's an older appearing house. You don't know if it's like a family estate or something that he's moved into. You don't know exactly the history of it, but it's almost like it's almost imposing, as it sits a little higher than the rest in this region on a bit of a hill.
Right. We'll approach.
As soon as we get like within like stone's throw of the door, I just pat Killian on the back and I give him enhance ability with, I can't remember the name of it, but it's the charisma one.
Eagle Splendor.
That was it.
Which is appropriate for Stensia, whose symbol of their parish is the eagle, which Acrio has emblazoned across his breastplate of his splint armor.
Is it the
Yeah,
eagle?
it's an eagle.
I don't think that's an eagle. I know it's
an
a
eagle.
bird.
I'm gonna go with an eagle. There are a lot of falcons also in the region, like the Falconrath vampire line come from a famous falconer, but that's not the primary symbol of the region. I'm gonna say it's an eagle.
Oh yeah, that's an eagle. Oh.
But anyway, Eagle Splendor being cast. Killian, you feel almost a little more cocky than usual, a little more self-confident, which is strange.
Yeah,
because,
dangerous territory.
Oh, that's
even more.
That's something I didn't know was possible.
If such a thing were possible.
But yeah, you have to go through this wrought iron fence with a gate. It's not overly high, mid-chest height, and there's not any guards or anything stationed. So you can walk up this like graveled path that kind of like winds through a set of trees. As you approach the door, you find it somewhat atypical. For Stensia, there's no welcome mirror on the door.
Is there like a knocker or anything?
There is like a pull cord bell.
Right.
Yeah, you can hear it reverberate through the house, kind of this low tone. And within a moment, the door opens. You see a taller individual in a almost golden-like vest, adorned high collar. He has like ashen blonde hair, bright eyes, and these large round spectacles. He's taller, not quite Amrita's height, but tall as anyone else in the party, kind of looking down on most of you. Very pale, almost golden eyes. Now, I was told we should be expecting an art salesman. Seem to be quite a few of you.
Yes. These are my friends. We had a meeting. How are you?
Quite well, thank you.
Would you allow us to enter? Meet Mr. Doyle.
Mr. Doyle is a very busy man. We will keep this brief. Just kind of looking over everyone here. Obviously a bit suspicious of the group, but...
Mr. smiles and waves.
Of course.
friendly. Please step inside.
I enter. My back as straight as possible. Almost
He-
curved backwards.
Actually, everyone can make a perception check real quick.
Oh boy. Everyone look respectfully. Don't know why that was advantage. I'm an idiot. But it's a
That's
14 anyway. Which is also my passive.
Acrio, Asuriel, and the Doctor would be the only ones who would realize this. Butler seems to pay special attention in glancing at Acrio himself and his armored adornments. Clearly a Cathar.
Yeah. Hey, how's it going?
Mm-hmm. As I said, we'll keep this brief. If the master of the house is interested in your wares, piece that you are here to present, then I will handle the exchange of funds. If not, you'll be on your way. My name is Mr. Pierce. And you all?
It's very nice to meet you, Mr. Pierce. My name is Killian. Killian Festani. These are my associates. And I name everyone.
That's good.
Yeah, he seemed to have been waiting for introductions from everyone, or, of everyone at least. And finally, when you kind of, at least giving first names, just, quiet. Follow me. And he will lead you through this two-story manor house. The entryway has like two sets of stairs going up to like an upper platform which leads into other rooms, and you've got like the main hall is 2 stories all the way up to the ceiling. There's an upper like walkway hall pillared where you can see that it would lead to the balcony on the front of the house, but he will lead you up one set of stairs and into what seems to be like a study. There's a fair amount of books on the walls, and a man seated. You can see he's like engrossed in paperwork and that sort of thing. He's got darker hair, a little bit of gray in it, some of which is in his beard. Also high collar, darker jacket, kind of a stern look as he glances up. You can see, as you've made your way through the house, there are a fair amount of paintings and statues, marble work. So it does seem as though he is interested in art of various types, but you would suspect that this individual is Reardon Doyle. He will set down his quill and kind of adjust his jacket, leaning back in his seat. You see him kind of stare off at his bookshelf for a moment, just not looking at you, and then turns back. Yes, you have an interesting piece, I've been told by Magda. This is more people than I was expecting. Please sit down. Should I have some drinks brought up?
That'd be perfect. Thank you very much.
Mr. Pierce, we would see to that. And the butler doesn't seem to want to leave, kind of looking over everyone, especially Acrio again, for those of you who have noticed that, but he will kind of give just a, very slight stiff bow. As you wish. And you are left alone.
I'm very pleased to make your acquaintance. I presume you are Mr. Doyle? you prefer
I'm
Mister?
thinking correctly. Yes.
Right, that is good. My name is Killian. I'm here to present myself.
Now, my understanding is this. Peace is. The province may have gaps in it, is my understanding, and that's not something I'm overly concerned with.
I could show it to you.
I would very much like to see it.
Of course. I place it in front of him and slowly reveal it. And while I'm sort of removing slowly invalid, I say, I'm sorry I didn't come to you sooner or set up a bigger time for this. A friend of mine would have connected us, but well, his name is Cormac.
Yes, I heard about everything that happened. It still stings. He was a good lad.
I hadn't talked to him for long, but every word exchanged with him was pleasant. I really regret what happened. Can I now, Jake, can I see if this is the man I saw that night? Red eyes.
Go ahead and roll, I'll say, history check. But it was very dark, so it's going to be difficult to know for sure.
Yeah, sure.
Also, while
Oh, fuck me. Oh, no.
Oh,
Remembers nothing.
okay.
This might be bad,
No,
guys.
yeah.
The goggles, they do nothing.
That one.
while Killian talks to this guy, the doctor would kind of just pay general attention to his body language, kind of any sort of subtle facial expression changes to see if, he reacts in any sort of way.
Mm-hmm. So, as you've noticed, he's kind of like leaning back in his chair. You did catch that strange, like, staring off into nothingness for a moment before he came back to the conversation. You notice he doesn't immediately look at the painting as Killian is talking. But as he kind of says that, Killian, you're thinking back about this, but you start to hear those whispered voices, and you start to see Doyle speaking again, but it's drowned out, and you almost can't process anything that he's saying over these ghostly wails and not commands, but implorements that are just bogging down your ears. It's almost as though every soul from Corsiva has followed you here.
Pose his face. Though fear will be, he will notice some fear peek through. And he will say in a voice that is probably a bit too loud because he can't hear his own voice right now. Could you pardon this quick interruption? I'd love to have the tea when we talk about this.
Certainly, that makes sense. Give me a moment. I'll grabs a pair of like reading glasses off of the desk, puts them on, and just kind of like begins to observe the painting, which you, those of you in the party who have seen would remember. It's like the Lake of Herons and that hilltop where Thraven sits, but there is no city. Instead, it's almost like a burst of light. There's angelic symbology and winged angels, kind of very small in the painting, but it's very much like a holy symbol. And as he's looking over it, you don't see any like repulsion, which you would almost expect from a vampire. He seems almost like interested and looking more like the brush strokes and the way it's done, and taking it all in without being like, ew, angels, that sort of thing. He would probably ask Killian, do you mind if I ask where you obtained this? which you can't hear, and everyone just kind of waits for you to answer, which you can't because you don't know what he said.
Mm-hmm. Okay, he'd probably, because he's Killian, try to improvise anything at this moment, and he'll just say, I'm sure you can appreciate the brushwork.
That's T is here.
And the ambulance.
Yeah, and,
The sirens.
Yeah, it's
Symbolic
The
siren
T-wagon.
underneath.
loud. Yeah, going by our house.
FBI, open up.
Just Mr. Pierce coming in like, wee.
FBI!
Ooh.
Mr. Pierce
Sort
will
of
re-enter
look
before the tea is actually brought, kind of as you're having this conversation. But presently following him is a maid with a cart, and Doyle will gesture for you to sit. He's got like a couch on one side, there's shelves, there's an oil lamp burning, multiple books in various places around this office. You can see he does have like a very obvious like safe that is locked and sitting in one corner. It's not even hidden. But yeah, there's ample seating for the rest of you.
Mm-hmm. And still being deafened for probably part of what he's going to say, so it's going to sound a bit off again. And you guys can clearly see something is up with him right now. He's kind of sort of looking over his shoulder sometimes, but he'll just sort of go into this. Oh, you'll have to pardon my manners. I haven't introduced everyone who's with me today. I'm sure you have been wondering. Okay, sir. I lay my hand on Acrio and sort of say, this is Acrio. He's my personal protection. I carry some things that are worth a lot. And I tend to stick with the normal ways for protection for that sort of stuff. And he's good. He's very good.
It's rather impressive you could procure a Cathar for private services. I can't say I'm not impressed.
Well, I'm an impressive man, what can I say? It's Dr. Van Angle. He's been looking over me for a bit. We don't need to get into it, but he needs to be here for this. All right? These are my team. That's Suriel. That's Lorelei. That's Amrita. They're sort of in the business with me. And I'm the leader, of course.
I suspect if you've made your way across the byways of Innistrad, you need as much assistance as you can.
That's exactly it, dear sir. Been traveling with this from Nephalia, so it's been a long way. And I was supposed to sell it to someone who isn't around anymore, so I'm very glad we got to have this meeting.
Am I too rightly guess who that may have been?
I think you're smart. So,
kind of sighs and just thinks for a moment. He's almost staring off into space. Yet again, Alrund was a complicated man. I almost wish he hadn't been involved with everything he was. It's unfortunate.
well, I don't know him. I'm sure everything was complicated.
He was a better man than most make him out to be. But we all have
That
our
is
faults,
interesting.
don't we?
I mean, we sure do. I have lots. I mean, I carry a doctor around me.
I'm sure.
No.
Are we wishing to commence with the particulars?
Sure. If you're up for it.
I could see myself parting with somewhere in the region of 200 gold for this. I don't think it would be an unfair price for something that is illicitly obtained.
When looking at this, what do you say?
I see hope, Mr. Killian. Something that is
I
in
think a
short
lot of
supply.
people will. Exactly. I think this painting is worth more than 200 gold. It has the worth of hope written on its face. Everyone who sees it will feel it.
Go ahead and make a persuasion check. And you do have an advantage on that.
Didn't realize my enhance ability would be used for trying to get more money out of him, but sure.
Whatever works.
Damn!
He'll sit back, take one of the quills from his table, and just kind of like do one of these things where he just starts to think about it for a moment. Much of my current business involves ranching outside the city. The hands who make their way into my estate are solid men, those who have to brave the outside, bit of hope, and a lifting of the spirits when they do make their way back. Is worth a bit, you're not wrong. And then there's, of course, my mining operations. Those have run a bit dry. Those who have to work the rock have the hardest time of it. I think a lot of times they don't realize that I know the struggles they go through. Didn't start out sitting in this office.
You worked yourself up from the bottom. I can respect that very much. The mining business, you say?
We struck a few profitable veins in my younger years.
Well, I'm very glad for your fortune, sir.
So you can understand how hard earned it has been. 250.
Seems more than fair. Mr. Doyle, I know I should be taking the least of your time as possible, but
Oh, it's no
you'll have to
trouble at
forgive
all.
me.
I don't get as much company as I would like.
Well,
It's all
you'll have to
business
forgive
these
for a
days.
bit longer of our wonderful company, because I like being in your presence. You seem like an interesting fellow I'd love to talk to. No, I've been... That whole werewolf business is kind of scaring me. What do you think about it? You know, people in the streets, pitchforks. It's kind of scary.
Quite frankly, I think it's all horse shit. There's no werewolves in Korsava. Not in Stinsia. I don't care what that captain of the guards thinks he got yesterday.
Can I tell if he's telling the truth at that point?
Yeah, can we all inside
Yeah.
check?
Sure.
What
No
is
way.
his vibe?
I also want to see the vibe.
Sure.
Group vibe check.
Ow. That is
Oh, God.
literally... I
No,
know.
we can't read this.
Oh
back.
my god! Okay, I'm
Yeah.
really hoping
Ow.
Dear
that's not how it's
God!
supposed to work.
Wait.
Oh,
I'm
man.
gonna use my inspiration.
Okay.
Salty, no. Salty, no.
I'm doing it.
No.
Doing it.
Yep. Natural
Bruh.
one. Okay.
That's what it wasn't supposed to be.
That's amazing.
Oh wait, no, I'm stupid. I have something for this that I could have used instead of you. Never
Would it
mind.
help though? Ask yourself that one. I don't even know. Yeah, I
We
imagine.
can't read this man for
since-
shit.
I imagine since we're all sitting, and Rita is
Watch
probably
this.
near
Yep,
Lorelei
had a
and
feeling.
Asuriel. Oh
So
damn!
you were
No, that,
Cathar.
20,
No,
that
ignore my-
24 is
never mind.
immediately after, like, just to make sure that it was the Dice Gods fucking us.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pain.
So anyway, what was this Emrita gonna do?
I don't know. Don't worry about it. Just skip on.
Sorry.
Okay.
It's okay.
Well, in any case, at most you can all see that this man is fairly comfortable, a bit laid back. He's not tense, even having all these people in the room. When you bring up werewolves and stuff, he's a bit dismissive of it, but it's really hard to tell if that's because he's genuinely dismissive or doesn't want to reveal anything that he would know otherwise.
What does the public know about Ewan's death, Jake?
You would have probably gotten that people know he was killed in the jail cell. It was almost more a vibe of the guards are incompetent, and the public would think that somebody tried to, take out a werewolf or suspected werewolf, but there would be some who would suspect that it was a vampire kind of like cleaning house.
I heard this nasty rumor. That fella, Ewan Buckthorn, I talked to him once. He seemed very, jittery. It's a poor thing he was killed in prison. The rumor that he was a werewolf? Things are starting to get interesting every day.
Looks to the side. Ewan was, and the butler kind of leans in, the herbalist in town, sir. Ah, yeah, that's right, the herbalist. I did hear about that, had a few dealings with him. Of course, I don't know that his business was the most productive. He was a werewolf, you say?
Well, I'm not sure. People say things, don't they?
People do say things, most of which are completely idiotic.
But you seem to talk highly of Mr. Cormac, and, well, since I like
I tend to have a high regard for people who are willing to make things move. People who are willing to work and build. There's not enough productivity in Stenzia. People like to huddle.
I agree with you. It's why I was sort of drawn to it in the first place. I did some digging, and things started to unfurl, as I'm sure you know.
I'm not sure I do.
That's okay. If you want to play it that way. Because I'm starting to get a feel for you as a person. And I think being honest might be the best avenue here.
I've heard it is the best policy. As he's slightly kind of narrowing his eyes at you.
I don't think it's always the best option, Sometimes a little white lie to not hurt someone's feelings might be the best one, but what I can't put my finger on is why you would want to break this thing you have going on. I don't think you would, I think you'd want to keep it this way. Make your fortunes, live this wealthy life, have this awesome butler. I mean, the vibes are just moi. I don't think you drain someone of their blood because you would trade one of yours.
What exactly are you implying? And as he's kind of saying that, Mr. Pierce will step in and say, if business is concluded, I think it's time you leave. I will have your payment ready.
No. I'm not a blackmailer. Of course I'm not. I'd love to have a complete picture here, because I am being totally honest when I say I liked Cormac, and I want to know what happened to him. And I don't think it was
Doyle just kind of looks up at Pierce and says, what on earth is he on about? And the butler will get a bit closer and just kind of put a hand on your shoulder. I do sincerely think it is time to leave. Your payment will be at the door.
Acrio steps forward.
Is he just... Acrio's just standing
just
up?
like a presence move forward.
The butler, Mr. Pierce, does not remove his hand from Killian, despite your at least appearing as though you are in fact a bodyguard.
Intense. Intimidate him.
There is there's definitely a tension in the room as Doyle will sit back in his chair, tap the table a few times. I'm not sure what you think you have, but don't hold on to it too tightly.
I won't. I'm feeling the energy in this room. Might have a bold move, I realized that. I think I might have overestimated you. I'm not an honest man. Sure you know that by what I'm selling to you. But I am honest when it comes to one thing. Keeping my promises. And I fucked that up twice now. And I really just want to do him a service. If you know anything about the murder of Cormac Rollo, please tell me.
The loss of Cormac was a hit, not to just my dealings in the state, but to Corsica in general. But whether or not it was a murder, I couldn't say.
Is there a way, while Amrita is sitting with the others, to discern from the cell where Buckthorn's body was versus we are now a perhaps similar smell from the vampire that could have bit him, like in this room that we're all in now?
Possibly. Yeah, that's going to be difficult, but I will say you can make a perception check. There is something vaguely familiar, but it doesn't seem quite right. Like you think you've maybe caught something of this smell before, but it doesn't connect the way you want it to in your mind when you're trying to think back.
So not to the same night with the body, similar, but not as if it was either Doyle or Pierce.
Very hard to tell, but yeah, it doesn't seem to connect exactly that way.
Mr. Doyle, I'm here today. Try and accept me as a warning. I think... No, I'm not as smart as you. But I think there's something here that wants to start something. And I'm thinking you're caught in the crossfire. You might be the one aiming, of course. But I don't think you are. Heed my warnings. Keep an eye out. I'm sort of trying to prevent a war. I've gotten werewolves out of the city, so they wouldn't revolt against one of their own being murdered.
Can I have everyone do another insight check, please?
No, let's not have 4 8s, guys. Salty.
You jinxed
Yep.
me, you.
Wow.
Oh, God.
No, I jinxed myself!
Okay, there we go.
Oh my god.
Thank God.
Lorelei's
Oh.
stressed.
The doctor and Cillian just. Yes.
Cillian.
So-
I was looking
Killian.
around. Hey, this place is pretty.
Surreal, I'll have you roll a D10 real quick. Yeah, Lorelei and Amrita both still not entirely sure. Like there's a level of like coded language where it's like you kind of know what Killian's talking about, but interpreting it like this is kind of above what the two of you, having lived mostly out in the wilderness for much of your lives, it's hard to read exactly what's going on.
And I feel like Lorelei, because she's concentrating on enhance ability, she's only like half paying attention.
Yeah, and I'm really just trying to discern the like different smells in the room. It's just like,
We're distracted by our own shit. We ain't paying attention.
And Acrio is still kind of focused on the butler, who is yet to remove his hand from Killian's shoulder and is getting to the point of agitation, trying to get you all to leave. The doctor and Killian, as you're kind of like reading this man's reactions to what you've said about this, a war and werewolves and a warning, there's a flash of what you would read as genuine confusion on his face. He's like trying to keep almost like a stiff posture about it, despite being, kind of relaxed. It's kind of almost a bit of a performance, but he just glances to the side and you're like, wait, does he know what we're talking about? Meanwhile, Surreal, you would happen to look over at the bookshelves and you just happen to notice there's a book called Ghouls and Geists, or the Division of Body and Soul in the State of Death being in quotation marks, by an author called Reinhold. Which catches your attention.
There's just like, well, everyone's distracted. I'm gonna look at this book.
The doctor would kind of just exchange a look with like Killian for a moment. Not necessarily say anything, and then try to see Mr. Pierce's, if there's thing behind the, agitation, him being the butler trying to get people out, if there is anything underneath there.
Mm-hmm. What's Killian doing? Because at this point, I think Doyle is going to be like, well, it's been a pleasure doing business with you, but I do think it is time for you to leave.
I'm sorry. I've pushed on. I was trying to right a wrong. And I stand up with still the guy's hand on my shoulder and I sort of take a step back. And I turn
Which he will
around.
release you if you are making an exit.
Mr.
Doctor, as Killian is beginning to leave, you get almost a sense of relief on Mr. Pierce's face. Again, he's also very stiff and proper in this moment, but as you're finally leaving, he's just like sighs in relief. Not audibly, but just like releases a bit of tension as he's ushering you away.
Does that seem
Lorelei.
to be? Can I discern if that seems to be, more because like, oh God, finally they're leaving, or is that, they're leaving? It might be out of the woods, something among those lines. Is it?
Before
I
you
don't
answer
know
that,
if you can tell the.
Okay.
Oh, so many things.
Oh,
Sorry.
oh no.
Oh.
Because I wanted to not metagame and I wanted to do this anyway.
Sure.
This is what Killian is doing while the doctor is deducing this.
Mhm.
He's gonna send a message to the butler through one of his guys and say, "Oh, that's it."
See any
Okay.
reaction?
Killian engages in regular psychological warfare. I can't-
He will take that as he will, but that because Killian doesn't know what is going on, he's just trying to pull a bluff and see if it does anything.
Yeah, so as that is happening, and one of your spirits that you've kind of blocked out the external whispers and are able to kind of redirect them once again, what was Lorelei about to say?
She was just asking if Doyle, if she could ask him a question. And if he would let her at all. Or if it's like, no, we're done here, get out.
Just roll a general charisma check.
Cool, let's see, I'm so good.
Natural 20.
Shut up.
Let's go.
Oh,
Natural
so
20.
close!
Almost.
Yeah.
So,
Two.
first of all, as I had said, the doctor can't really tell exactly the motivation for the butler just, almost seeming relieved to be ushered out. You would see that he, very subtly rolls his eyes when Lorelei starts trying to speak again. But he would, turn to try to stop Lorelei, but Doyle just waves his hand and, it's fine. What?
Well, I had heard you were a recluse. Is this true? Forgive me for such a forward question.
I don't think I will. Good day.
Well, I tried.
Does Cyril manage to read anything from that book in the time they've talked?
I mean, yeah, you got through a portion of the first chapter as everybody is now being ushered actually out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if Acrio is acquiescing to that quite yet, or Emerita, but several people are starting to be ushered out, and you're kind of oh shit, time to go. You would have gotten that this is almost like a follow-up book, but it's definitely dealing with the difference between undead, the corporeal, and the incorporeal, from a scientific perspective, and kind of detailing the in the overview of the first chapter, how geists and physical undead bodies are so drastically different. That's basically what you would get in the first section of it.
Alright, she'll put it back and follow the others out.
Is Acrio and are the doctor, being led out, or are they trying to stick around for either reason?
This is turning into a mess. So the Pierce is just trying to get everybody out, right? And
yeah, he's I'll
Doyle
get your money. It'll be at the door.
Oh, okay.
GTFO.
Okay. So he's currently, rushing to get the money, and then basically...
Well, he's first
okay.
getting you guys out of the room. That's his first order of business, is so you stop disturbing his boss. But yeah, he'll be procuring money after that, but he's kind of just saying he will at this point.
You would probably once, kind of pay attention that Pierce is, dealing with the rest of the party right now, looking at Doyle. You should perhaps pay better attention to who you employ, but that is just me going off on tangents. Do know what they say. Keep your friends close, your enemies closer.
Kind of glances between you and Killian. They do say that. Have a good one.
Indeed. And yeah, he just leaves.
Acro being the last one, awkwardly standing there like a fucking statue. Acro will say, "You have a lovely red carriage. Have a wonderful day." And then turn and leave.
At that, he's more visibly confused than anything else.
Yeah.
His face is just what the hell?
What kind of crackheads have I just
He
invited into my home?
doesn't even try to hide that. It's just
Yeah.
No idea what you're talking about there.
Turn around, slowly walk away. Well, That or there's another vampire in town, but you know what? Walk away down the stairs.
So as you're doing that and finally exiting the room and the door is closed, Mr. Pierce grabs a hold of Killian, shoves him up against the wall directly in his face, and that's where we're going to end this week's session.